Pharrell, what's poppin'?
Happy Wampy.
What's goody? I'm feeling good, man. I got over that cold. My shoulder messed up, but today was still a good day. Feel me? I'm just trying my best. What you been up to this morning?
Getting ready for the show.
That's it, man. That's what I like. The focus. The focus, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Mel, you already know what's popping. Hope all is well, my G. All Minaj in the building. Miss Bells in the building. The cynical one. Salute, homeboy. Shalom. Lauren was popping. Action Jackson, what up, family? Melly Mel was shaking. Big Dog Barking was popping. Miss Jilly in the building. Make sure everybody say hello to Miss Jilly. Leona Dawn was popping, man. We need to find you another battle, man. The inbox been crickets, man, ever since they seen you get busy last time. TK was popping. Curtis, I see you. Salute. Impress putting in work. Grape T was popping. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We are here. We got 53 people in the building, and we have 27 likes. Stop what you're doing, please. Go ahead and hit that like button. That helps the channel the most. Let me see. Why don't this shit be working, bro? Oh, I'm trying to do something real quick. I don't know. This shit not working for me. Ain't been working the last 2 days. Must be a glitch. All right, man. Let's do it. Let me see something real quick.
Ready, Eddie?
They got bad knees. It's crazy. Let me see. Correct me if I'm wrong in the building. Mr. McBride, salute. GN, salute. Welcome. Tazzy, appreciate you. Appreciate y'all, man. Hit the like button. Let me get my background music going. Let's get this shit piping, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. So, the Discord was popping on a Thursday, I believe. What's up, Nate? So I carried it over to a show on Friday, right? It's been a lot of back and forth regarding the presidency and things of that nature. And somehow we got to a point where there was a shared sentiment amongst men that women are indeed miserable. Down south, what up? UFO, what up? Salute. Mr. Williams in the building. Ronnie was shaking. The brothers seem to have a consensus because women seem to be never satisfied. It's always something. Even up to and including women that stay home for a living, take care of the house for a living, take care of their kids for a living. It's never enough. we hear God bless his dead on Kevin Samuels. He literally made a sound bite
Brother.
out of women saying, I'm a PhD. It's like, yo, if you are intrinsically driven, you should be intrinsically satisfied and happy with yourself. But if you have to wear all your badges on your sleeves, what does that really say about a person? Y'all say things like, oh, marriage ain't the goal. You know what I say? Fuck out of here, man. Y'all grew up y'all entire lives looking forward to that wedding, looking forward to that moment. Now you get in the earth and realize now I guess men ain't going for it. It's not so much happy wife, happy life anymore. So now all of a sudden they don't want to be married. Marriage ain't the goal. People don't just switch that easily. And so when the brothers were sharing the sentiment of miserable, although it be hyperbolic, did they have a point?
It's a broadcast. Are you doing a pregnant pause? Or are you ready for me to talk?
Well, I was slowing it down a little bit because we only been on for 6 minutes. We already got 100 people in the building. But I just want people to get in a little bit before they hear this shit, man. Get the likes up, get the likes up, get the likes up. Now, misery loves company. I heard you say this in the back, and that's all I needed to come up with this topic here.
We do so good with that, right? I be like talking, be like, what she said? Then you just make it a show.
So, the company, who's the company? Because I'm listening to I'm listening to the women complaining about the men, and then I'm looking at the other side. We got the same complaints. So since we did women being miserable, are men the company to that? Are men miserable as well?
Men were first.
Hold on, Ralph, hush for a second. Are men the company to that? Are men miserable? If women are your goal, how do you actually feel? Is it just a bunch of miserable motherfuckers trying to get together? And if so, who's the catalyst? Are women making men miserable or Riverside? We're gonna see, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Homeboy Blaze with the $5. Shalom, Hamp, and Sherelle Shalom. Looking forward to the show. That's one thing. Homeboy ain't scared of shit. He say what he say. He in the chats and shit. He don't be going for none of that Jones effect shit. So Zon, Michael M, salute. What's popping? Sherelle, the floor is yours.
Put him in the fucking bathroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Not the bathroom. She said perfect.
Oh, my bad.
Perfect.
There we go. Okay. No, men are miserable. We're company.
Huh?
Men are miserable and we are company.
Excuse me?
In every excerpt of life that y'all men, including you,
Excerpt.
God is a man.
Yeah.
The man came first, and we came to help y'all. So God created y'all to be miserable, and we came to help y'all be miserable.
What in the world are you talking about this quick? This
yes. Cause you gotta let that marinate.
I'm trying.
We're the help me.
Okay.
We're helping you in misery, but you're misery first.
Hold on. But Shorty, the one that fucked it up. We was doing just fine. before she got beguiled.
Nah, she was just being a woman, being curious and shit. That's women, you know what I'm saying?
No.
So God would have overlooked Eve being a woman. Like, yeah, she's just doing bitch shit, you know what I'm saying? But when Adam did some bitch shit, that's when God was like, no, she got this nigga doing. Get the fuck out.
No.
God was like, she getting this nigga. He putting on the dress and the heels and switching and shit. Get out.
No. Her never being satisfied. That's the problem. Let me tell you something. Women, you guys justify mediocre behavior. Lackluster behavior that's unbecoming. If someone's always complaining, never satisfied, a woman just being a woman, which leads to poor behavior, y'all need to shift. That behavior sucks. It's not something to justify.
It's the way God made us.
Huh?
It's the way God made us.
What did he make you? Let me hear this. What did he make you?
Our energy is like a chaos energy, so we're always pushing the barriers for more. So that's how we play our role in advancing society, is that we're always coming up with new ideas and new inspirations. So when you say, look at this horse and carriage, we think, I wish we had a car with air conditioner, and then you go build a car with air conditioner in it. See how that works? Now we got cars with air conditioners and we not on horse and carriage. Women it's gonna manifest in her mind first, and then she says it to you. She's like,
never.
We need this, and you go get it. It's just like that.
No. Y'all know you trolling now. Come on now.
What?
Come on now. Y'all can't even make no decisions about what y'all want to eat. Y'all not no.
We have ideas about what we want to eat, but we don't always know what we want to eat.
Yeah, that is lackluster behavior. Do you think you guys are lesser than?
No.
But then you would have to justify you guys not being lesser than by lackluster behavior.
I think we're different.
But when you say you guys are chaotic, is that a positive?
Mm-hmm. Everything's positive.
How is chaos positive?
Because that's the stuff, we're made of chaos energy. Everybody, actually.
So what? Okay.
Is God not chaos?
Well, the answer would be yes, but he's also all. So, of course, right?
So
but
God didn't come down here as just one being. God came down here as two beings, and the God energy is split into two different sides. We're in the feminine, and y'all in the masculine.
So we are miserable, and you guys are the company. Mm-hmm. And your example is that of the Bible falling to the purposes.
No, that's just my example. But the Bible was cute.
No, I mean, it's fine. But that was a terrible example, right? The fact that women are so chaotic, it leads you to be led astray more easily.
Because you bringing up the rest of the story. I was just using the point that y'all came first and we're helping you. So because we're miserable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all miserable.
Mm-hmm.
But we came to help y'all be miserable, but y'all was miserable already.
I to be honest, I think men overall are fine. Remember,
no,
a man's in a house, he'll have a futon and a PlayStation. He's fine. When that chaos,
if y'all have that futon in the house, but y'all are the most homeless, y'all are the most drug, alcohol addicted. The majority of people who are on drugs, men. The majority of people who are on alcohol, men. The majority of people who delete themselves, men. Y'all are actually the miserable ones. And not to think about this, who chases the most, men or women? Do men chase women or do women chase men?
Men chase women.
Okay, so this is my thing. What type of person goes looking for misery? What type of person is chasing misery? You think a bunch of happy people just want miserable company? Or is it miserable people looking for company in the first place? Y'all are the ones that are looking.
No. So that's the order of things, right? So men want women. So it's the men chase the men that want women. What happens is they're the company to the misery that she brings. She makes these men miserable. The brothers who have opted out are having fun playing video games or watching anime or masturbating. But it's the men who are chasing women that end up in this misery.
When the last time you seen a woman get up and go blast the school?
Down in Texas, the girl who was trying to dress like a boy, she went and blasted the school full of little kids.
Because she was trying to be a man. She was trying to be miserable and fell into that.
Hey, I'm just asking. I'm just answering what you said.
So this is my thing. How often does it happen between women and men? Do the men do it more?
Yes. But see, here's the thing. This is why that doesn't make sense. Men
just can't watch it. Men don't like to see other people being happy. I'm telling you.
Men do everything more though. See, men are more decisive. Y'all can't figure out what y'all want to eat. That's why when you look at suicide attempts, women lead in attempts, but y'all too pussy to get it done.
Nah, I think women just like attention. I don't think they actually die.
Here's the thing.
I have a bunch of friends that I was like, I can't myself. But like, girl, jump off a bridge. Like they always want to do something simple, like take pills. Like your stomach don't have like your stomach acid is not going to process it. It's going to throw it up. Like you're not going to die like that. Like, but do they ever jump off bridges? No, because they don't really want to die.
But that's the point, though, right? Attention seeking, always wanting something, right? Yeah, never satisfied.
Flowers. And
that's a miserable nigga. That's a miserable nigga who got something to complain about when there's nothing to complain about. And then imagine being a company of somebody who's miserable. Sooner or later, you're gonna absorb that energy. You're just trying to do the best you can. Even when
I think it's always something to complain about when you're dealing with men.
No, it's always something to complain about when you're a woman. Y'all just be complaining. Like, think about this.
No, because y'all are not problem. Y'all are problem solvers. So y'all are not trained to complain.
Yes, that means we not miserable. We find solutions. Mel said it's over.
We're not solution. Huh?
Mel only put this when it's time to end the show. Yo, listen, bro. We're not the company. I mean, we are the company, sorry. Because, the chaos y'all bring, we can't navigate it because it's forever changing. And so she always has an issue trying to wonder why. Imagine how miserable you become dealing with somebody who's never satisfied.
I think women are never satisfied because they have to buckle to societal standards because it's a man's world. And they have to go against their natural desires for who they want to be all the time.
Okay. Now, which one is it, Smarty Pants? Is it women who give these men ideas and men create? Or is it women acquiescing to men's needs? Which one is it?
No, women. That's two different arguments. Women are the muses and inspiration. The feminine energy is creativity and inspiration, things like that. Yes, also that. But within society, women still have to buckle to societal standards. And it typically goes against things that they may want and desire for themselves.
Like what?
Just like their own everything. Women typically want it all, and they're told you can't have it all. I just saw
because it's delusion. It's delusional, miserable. That's why
you can have it all.
Yeah, that's delusional.
But men can have it all. Men can have the career, the wife, the kids, everything. Men can have it all.
What do you think that comes with? You think it's free?
No. Is it free?
What do you think that comes with? Doing all those things. What do you think it comes with? Work. Okay. Women work, but do they do the jobs that men do willingly? No.
What jobs?
Any job, right? Like you
one
said,
job that a woman don't do.
There's this one guy
Plumber.
twice. There's this one guy twice a year. He climbs up this ladder. He gets paid $15,000 every time he does it. It's at the top of a lighthouse, but it's so high. It's like he has to wear like an oxygen tank.
Would you do it?
Yeah, I'm not scared of heights.
You think majority of men would do it?
Yeah.
You're capping.
Stop the cap.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, we just do so.
All the hard jobs men are doing.
We do them shits. Like, for instance, one of the ladies who worked for me, she's like, oh, I have my, she didn't say cycle. She's like, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, what's wrong? I just saw you yesterday. Well, you know, I got cramps. I said, so what they got to do with these 70 boxes that got to go in the truck?
You ever had cramps?
From like working out? Yeah.
No, in your vagina.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
But she thought I was supposed to give her, what's it called? Accommodation. I said, these 70 boxes got to get on that truck, cramp or not. And she
should have popped on Middays early in the morning.
But she thought, Sherelle, that meant something. We're at work. You're getting paid a livable wage. It's time to put this pain in. But now take that example and then liken it to just work, period.
No, but think about it. Like, because I grew up with my dad and he didn't understand periods. Like, it was like, take some medicine, do whatever. So I never got it. But see, my niece, every time her period comes on, they let her stay home. She just be sleep on the sofa. Just because her period is down, she don't have to go to school. She's already being conditioned to make accommodations for that shit.
That's what I'm saying. So tell me, all right, uninterrupted, tell me why men are actually miserable. I'm going to sit back, lean back in my new chair and listen.
I don't think men are miserable.
Oh my God. Put him in the fucking bathroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
So what you talking about then?
That's my thing. I don't think men or women are miserable. But the people who are saying no. The people who are saying it, they're miserable.
Nah. We ain't having that, Playboy. Tell me. Tell me. Okay? Who's more discontent, men or women?
Men.
Why are men more discontent than women?
Because I feel like men take and they build the world and they don't get the respect for all the work that they do. In an unrealistic way of looking at life.
So you think
I think every miserable person just has an unrealistic expectation of life and they're just getting disappointed.
So you think that our discontent is justified? Because who are we being
justified too?
Well, let's talk about the men. Who are we being disrespected by? Who's telling us that what we doing ain't enough?
It's a society thing. More than it's women. But women too.
So women what is a man?
Most of y'all don't have women.
So what is a man supposed to do dealing with society who holds us accountable and women who don't respect or appreciate the things we do?
Be miserable. That's why y'all miserable. And then they got the winners and the men who just accept it, but they just choose not. They don't choose misery because they're just like, it is what it is. When you talk about like black pill men and their ideology of how You know, if you don't look a certain way, if you're not a certain height, if you're this and this, then life just not going to provide for you. You understand like the misery that men are always dealing with. And then even when you talk to the men who win, they're always pushing through some shit. They're not actually don't have anything to complain about. They're just extremely good at pushing through a bunch of shit that they could complain about, but they're like, nobody's gonna come and do shit for us complaining. Like if a man sits around and complain, who's gonna be like, let me help you out? If an attractive woman goes sit somewhere and be complaining, they're gonna be 30 men show up and be like, let me help you out. Nobody does that for men. They don't get any rewards for that shit.
Yeah, okay, I agree. So with that being said, what should women do? How should women act? How should women change their innate behavior? They have a propensity to be just women, which when you are naming out the shit that women do, it's not admirable to be complaining, to always want something to create chaos. Those aren't things that I would be like, yeah, go do that. And so if you know men are unappreciated, right? And those behaviors help exacerbate their misery, what should women do differently?
They should only be around men they appreciate. And stay away from all other men.
But why she can't appreciate? So what type of men get appreciated?
The men that, I don't know. I guess it all depends on the woman and what he does for her.
The handsome men.
I say all the men around me. Not some of y'all not handsome. Some of y'all look like pit bulls.
Wow.
Put him in the.
Some of y'all look like pit bulls, but I still appreciate y'all. I got this one little cousin I love so much. He's ugly as hell, but you know he's ugly. But I love him so much. My baby.
But think about this. If men literally make your life easier, like you said, 30 men will come to the rescue. All those men won't be desirable physically. But why aren't we overall getting more respect? Why do y'all get the disrespect of if you acknowledge and admit these things to be true? You even said it out on the road trucking. You met so many good men willing to help and go on about their business.
Remember we had the conversation about good men and good men in relationships. So I don't necessarily know how they are with their wives and stuff like that. I just know that they're good humans.
Yeah. No, 100%.
You know, but I'm pretty sure they probably have a wife that's complaining about them not coming home every 3-4 months.
Because she's a complainer though, really. Remember, that's what we talking about.
Him.
Well, but the conduct though is unbecoming, right? So if I work on an oil rig or if I'm a trucker and I'm not home for 4 or 5 months, I'm literally putting in this pain.
But my ex used to complain. My ex used to complain about me being on the road. My ex didn't like me being on the road. So if it was in the reverse and your wife was always gone for 3-4 months at a time, DJ Hamp would be complaining.
No, well, so here's the thing. I can understand. I can try to understand the point, but also our roles are different, though. Isn't it dangerous for a woman to be out there? Is it more dangerous for you to be an over the road trucker or me?
I ain't gonna say I'm danger.
Huh?
From my experience, it wasn't that dangerous.
No, I'm just saying overall in the earth, is it more dangerous for you or me? Forget the trucking.
Oh, you, yeah, me, women, because
yeah. Remember when you told the story on the podcast about when you tore New York City to pieces with your truck, right? And how many men were mad at you because they couldn't get to you? I
didn't tell nobody. My boyfriend was like, that was my last work. Like I called him at work and I was crying. I was like, "The truck fell in the car." He was like, "You coming home?"
Yeah, because they can't help you, right? Like they said, that's the reason why men get disgruntled when women just leaving for elongated periods of time. It's not the same. But
even when they come home, but if they're like career women, like if they're like lawyers, doctors, anything that's out the house too much when they're not home, complaints that come behind it.
Yeah, no, I think We both start feeling some type of way for sure. But those complaints. So here's the thing, right? like I think, was I telling the story? Well, I had to do a thing, so I had to focus on doing the thing, right? And so I had to work a lot more to get it done, right? It was a decent amount of money. I don't know what people think is more or less, but I needed this particular amount of money within a month and a half because I had a legal task I was trying to complete, essentially, right? But even in that instance, my wife couldn't understand it, right? But the kids here working so much because I'm trying to do this thing, right? Because it benefits everybody in a acute period of time. But as opposed to understanding, it was all the reasons why she was affected, as opposed to looking at the macro picture. Why do y'all do that? And if so, how can a man not become miserable when dealing with that type of behavior?
I don't know. I guess just push through it.
Just push through it, right?
Like what give me like 3 complaints that women do that's unnecessary.
You always at work.
So a woman wanting to spend time with the man that she loves is a problem.
He's always at work though, right? And then what will happen is the counter complaint is, we don't have this and that. We can't do X, Y, and Z. We don't have the resources for X. Those things contradict themselves.
So it's when women don't understand that they can't have it all. They can't have the lifestyle and the time. And I realized that, like, people who have a lot of time to spend don't actually have a lot of money to spend, right? But when we're young, I don't think we conceptualize that. I think that's something that women should work on understanding. That men who have like a purpose in work, they're not going to have a lot of time for you. But I think women still, they want a lot of stuff and they want a lot of time. And then they have to kind of juggle that because they're going to have a desire for both.
Yeah. And so,
unless they choose to be a minimalist.
And the thing is this, right? Arnold said it very eloquently one day. Men hear what women say they want. And so men work towards the things that women say they want. Men ain't sitting here saying we shouldn't have to do that. The majority of men are trying to do those things, i.e., like you said, push through. We don't complain, right? But even still, then the goalpost moves. And then it's like, well, that's not enough. It's like this.
So you see how I'm saying you're actually miserable because you're actually having valid things to complain about. You're actually doing work. People are actually not appreciating you. Society is raising your taxes. The jobs is trying to pay you less than what you deserve. You're actually getting up. So think about this. If I got up every day and I don't work out and I don't eat right, and I get health problems and I get fat, but you work out every day and you go eat right every day and you're making the sacrifices and you have the same results as me, who's really mad? I'm complaining that I'm fat even though I don't do shit to change it. You're complaining even though you're doing everything to change it and you're not getting any results. So your misery actually is us. We're just complaining. We're not actually miserable. They don't actually want to die. Women are actually just talking shit because they like to talk shit. Y'all are actually miserable.
So here's I understand your breakdown. That's actually a good flip, but here's in Bison level. Best friend, Cuzzo. Don't distract her. You back? Cuzzo, beat it. Come on.
You talking to her?
Yeah, Cuzzo, beat it. Make like a tree and split, Cuzzo. I'm kicking her ass right now. So, this one right here. You hear me?
Yeah,
you hear me?
I hear.
Oh, so.
Yeah.
Man, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the person. This is who the miserable person is. Do you ever seen Jerry Maguire? So there was one guy in. Okay, so there's one. His cousin in Jerry Maguire, right? What was his name? Rod, the receiver. He was played by Cuba Gooding Jr., right? And so he was doing good, trying to get an extra contract, et cetera, et cetera. And his cousin was always in the house like, man, I could have been there. I could have done good. I would have caught the ball. Why he ain't do this? Why he ain't do that? And he steady complaining and hating when he got hurt until the wife just got tired of his shit. Because a nigga complaining and not doing nothing because they really don't have the capability is the one that's actually miserable. Not the person trying their best because they getting up and at least willing to try. Miserable people ain't willing to try shit. They just want to complain about wishing they could do it. And then they hating on niggas around them actually getting it done.
Is that the definition of miserable?
Yeah, think about it.
I thought miserable just meant unhappy.
But they unhappy, and then what do miserable people do? Project. Now I'm the bad guy because I'm doing the work.
So you're telling me that a woman can be comfortable because miserable also means uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
She can have everything she wants, everything she asks for, and then still be looking for something else. That's something different than misery.
No, that's
it's
miserable.
I'm not comfortable. I'm here. I'm not paying no bills. I'm not working.
Black man, salute.
I'm being treated well. I can have whatever I want,
and it's always something. It's you still complaining. All right. Let me watch this. Take this walk with me. Right? And everybody in the chat, we're using the term miserable. I know there's better terms. We ain't doing that, right? We're using the hyperbole to have the conversation. All right. So now, let me ask you a question. When you heard people say you miserable, right? Niggas sitting around complaining about being fat, acting like they can't do it. Nobody gonna teach them. Nobody gonna help them. They act like they could do it better if somebody if they try, shit like that. I would say, nigga, you miserable. Now, right? Now you got another person on the other side. Damn, son, you trying your hardest. You doing your best. You working extra mile. You going the extra minute. You pushing through all the hard times and hardships. I'm going to look at that person and say, nigga, you miserable. Hell no. Who would you more be apt to say who's miserable?
No, because I'm saying it in a different way, right? So I'm saying it as people who don't do nothing are lazy. But what I've realized, and you know what I'm saying? It may be just my ideology. Growing up with people that's drinkers, they want to be drunk. Growing up trying to love people through drug addiction, they want to be high.
Okay.
People who are lazy and sit around and don't want to do nothing, they don't want to do nothing. These motherfuckers are comfortable.
They're miserable.
They're comfortable.
You think drunks are comfortable?
They don't want to move out of their comfort zone. So they're just content with what they have because they don't want to move from out of their comfort zone. Like, you may be young, like as a young person, me trying to love people through their addictions, love people through this, and it's like I'm the one that's fucking uncomfortable. I'm the one pushing through shit. I'm the one sacrificing. I'm the one making changes. I'm the mother. You understand what I'm saying?
And I'm not miserable because I'm doing
going my way. I'm gonna be unhappy.
No. The person that's doing the change is doing the work.
Ain't doing nothing.
The niggas that's doing the changes, putting in the work, are not miserable. People that are content with being at the bottom are miserable. They know where they at. See, that's the thing. People be fooling you talking about, I don't care about this and that. I don't care about money. I don't care about time. I don't care about how well I'm doing. That's bullshit. People know they're not doing well.
But how can I know people who've been on crack for 60 years. How are you miserable?
Let me ask you a question. Do they ask you?
I don't conceptualize these people as. I think.
Let me ask you a question.
Look at them and be like, "You're miserable." They're happy.
Crimson, what up, Mr. Thompson? Salute. Full circles was popping. My brother Therese was good. I ain't seen you in a minute. Crimson, appreciate you. Damn. Let me ask you a question. Do the people that you know smoke crack, they come ask you to smoke crack with them? Or do they say don't be like
Not
me?
crackhead.
The people that be
They saying
drunk.
don't be they're saying don't be like me, because like if young people, I've seen people sell drugs and then people put them on it. So not crack, because crack is such like a negative thing, but so many people have introduced drugs to their friends. Yes.
Talking about crack, nigga. That's what I'm talking about.
No, crack is outdated. We can't talk about crack.
Dope.
Crack is outdated.
Well,
but
you said
at the time, let me tell you, at the time, yes, that's how everybody got on crack. People was just like, hey, this the new high, this is the new drug, this is the new shit. And everybody was trying this shit, passing it along to their friends, passing it along to here. Like,
yeah, no, I understand.
I'm like, how you get on there? They're like, man, we was all in the project, everybody sitting around the table. Because I asked my mother-in-law, I'm like, how you didn't get on drugs and all your friends are on drugs? And she was like, we all got high together, believe it or not.
No, I understand. I say you, right? So when people been doing the drug, because the premise you painted was 30 years, right? So they've been doing the thing for so long, they never asked you to come do that with them, right? The real drunks out here in the earth never ask you. They don't never say, hey, come be like me. Now, if I'm getting slow results, I'm working out, I'm going to say, yo, come get this work with me. That's not how misery looks.
So you think people are just miserable instead of them just existing?
I'm telling you,
in a way
man,
that they want to exist, even though it doesn't look like society. This is what society says you should do. Society says you should not do drugs and not drink alcohol and da 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 da. So those people are actually choosing to do what they want to do. Like I'm over it. They no solution for these motherfuckers because they're happy.
Remember they're addicted, right? So now it's a chemical thing, right? And here's the thing: do majority of people care what people think?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so we can't exonerate those people who are at the lowest of the low to all of a sudden not care. That addiction overcomes them, and then what happens is they give up and become complacent. That's miserable.
Unhappy and uncomfortable.
You ever had an addiction?
I don't have an addictive gene.
Can you imagine being addicted to something that you know hurts you, that you know that you can't overcome, and then literally has you at the bottom of the totem pole, and everybody look at you like a piece of shit?
No.
But just imagine that, though.
Not for me.
Imagine that person ain't miserable. Oh man.
I guess I know so many people that are on
this is why I love UFO,
just,
man. I was literally about to give this exact example. You see this shit all the time. You got Amy Winehouse, Robin. Well, I don't know if Robin Williams is on drugs, right? What's the other girl? Brittany Murphy.
I thought Robin Williams was a boy.
No, I said not Robin Williams. I think he's. I don't know. But you got Amy Winehouse. You got Brittany Murphy, the one that was in 8 Mile, his girlfriend. You got Whitney Houston. These drugs are a cope for something that's killing them internally. That's a miserable person.
But how did you stay miserable that long? Who stays miserable for 60 years?
Yo, the people that smoke dope for 60 years.
Them motherfuckers be happy as hood in the hood. They be the happiest ones. They be the ones singing, dancing, entertaining us shit. Cause wrong people, they be the life of the damn hood.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, man. You look at people.
It's a different.
But you look at people externly, right? But you don't know what anybody going home and doing at night, man. But when Robin Williams offed himself, when Junior Seau offed himself, when damn, what's the receiver's name? He played for the Broncos. Went home and offed himself. Like, yo, people be miserable not living up to standards set by society, but also very internally, man. They be having a lot of conflicts. A person that's actually trying to get better, you can't call that person miserable.
I'm not going to get too personal and say who these people are, but I've lived in houses with people that are on drugs, right?
Yeah.
So I've went home with people who are on drugs, and I've watched them. And what I could say is the most miserable person was the one who was not on drugs, who has to take care of everybody, everything, and be sober.
What happened was
this person takes care of everybody because everybody decided to be on drugs. So she had to take care of everybody else fucking kids. She had to do everything. She gotta go to work and make up for every single thing. And her depression, her misery is justified. I justify her feeling depressed. I justify her feeling miserable. But I don't justify motherfuckers who ain't doing shit with their life but looking for a high and wasting time.
Because you know what happened? Misery is everybody else. She's the company. If you're around miserable people all day long, 24/7, and have to take care of them while you know that they literally stab you in the back by the actions, at a point she gonna become miserable. But that ain't on her, it's on everybody else in that goddamn house. So salute to her, man.
Salute to her. She's the best person in the world to me.
Yeah, man. And so when we come back, the women always complain, and it's always something.
But she's a woman.
Huh? No, that's an anecdotal example. But when we're talking about the bigger picture, if you understand that that's a woman's nature to just be like that by proxy of that, she gotta be miserable as shit. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy that y'all justify that conduct, really. Come on now.
What conduct?
Just to be complaining. It's always something. You live in chaos. Come on. We gotta be better.
It's not justifying. It's not justifying. It's saying what it is. It's not a justification. Why do when we have conversations, y'all think everything is a justification when we're talking about what is?
Well, now, was it you that agree with me on this? The phrase I hate the most is "it is what it is."
Mm-hmm.
So why did it have to be like that? Now that you know consciously that behavior is unbecoming, why not switch it so you don't have to be miserable and by proxy make us miserable and now our relationships suck?
No, I think that people should adjust.
So how do we do it?
So you gotta adjust. You gotta just make the sacrifices. That's why, like, I don't coming from what I'm saying.
This is what I'm gonna do.
I know.
Tell the women how to change that poor innate behavior. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let me hit this for you.
Perfect.
Just stop complaining. Get shit done. Stand on business. Learn how to sacrifice. Learn how to go without.
How about how they treat their men?
Appreciate the ones that are doing right. Understand that he's probably did 10 things to make you happy, and then you may be complaining about the one thing he didn't do. Because they're not going to gloat. And I think that's what they're going to understand about men. Men are not gloating about the fact that I woke up today, my shoulder hurt, my back hurt, I got splinters, I got a headache, everything, but I'm about to push through to make sure that I'm feeding you. Like, I don't feel like doing this shit. I don't feel like listening, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm not complaining. You're not perfect. So because men don't complain, they're not telling women, oh, I actually don't like this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. He would humble her so much if he was always complaining about what she don't do and what she did to not make him happy. And then he would be being sassy and all this extra shit. So it's like, you got to understand that you're not perfect and there's things he don't like about you. You're not God's gift to the planet. You know what I'm saying? So once you start to understand that there's shit that he could complain about for you too, but he's pushing through it and he already has the world on his shoulders, he's not a robot, then you're going to realize that that's a human who's doing a lot. And you need to appreciate him for that.
Damn.
Even the smallest instance of it. But I don't think that that's a hard thing for anybody to do. Some people are just ungrateful and men enable it. And men need to stop enabling it. If she's ungrateful, stop dealing with her ass. I don't care how pretty she is. I don't care how good her sex is. You got to stop enabling bad behavior or it's never going to get out of control. Stand on business. And it's a lot of people who don't stand on business. Every day you complain about a job, quit. You complain about where you live, move. What the fuck is you complaining about? Not when you got all this world and all this autonomy to change your outcome. Move.
But is it that easy?
It's that simple. People think it's hard, and as long as you think it's hard and you can't do it, you got to understand you can do whatever you want to do. That's why you're doing whatever you want to do.
Now, my average move is between $4,000 and $6,000.
Leave your furniture cheaper. Sell it. I know a woman who had to move abruptly. She sold all her furniture and got the money. Now all you got is a bus ticket or a plane ticket. You got to learn how to not be comfortable. That's the point. You're staying in this. It's miserable changing. Waking up every day, going to the gym, working out when your shoulder is out of socket. That shit is miserable. That shit is uncomfortable. That shit ain't bringing you happiness. You see how I look at it? It's not. Because when I look at the definition of it, it's uncomfortable and it's not bringing you happiness. But those things that you go through are actually what help you grow.
Well,
you have to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation to grow. Sacrifice is uncomfortable.
But I am happy. But I am happy when I'm at the gym. I'm uncomfortable.
You were just crying, huh? That's why you got the glasses on.
And I just be upset that I can't use my arm because that shit hurts so much. But I still be happy.
You're saying upset and happiness are synonyms?
No, what I'm saying is I'm upset that I can't throw my hand, right? I can't do the things that I want to do. That's because I have an injury, but I'm learning different ways to box because I'm handicapped. So I'm
because you're pushing through. You've been miserable so long that you found a way to enjoy it.
That's endurance.
You're enduring the misery.
No, it's not. That don't even make no sense.
Yes, it does. Because the definition of miserable is unhappy and uncomfortable.
Oh, that's not. The hell no. It just hurts. Some
people are choosing to be uncomfortable and unhappy so that they can have greater outcomes. Some people are unhappy and uncomfortable because they don't want to put any effort in. So what you're saying is one is miserable and the other one is not.
Hell no. So where the majority of people lie?
The latter.
The actual miserable people. That was a terrible example though. I have fun when I go to the gym. It just be hard as shit though.
You do. Know? Most people don't. That's why they don't go.
Really?
Yes. The majority of Americans are obese. Our obesity rate is crazy. The number one cause of death is health related.
What you find is people they're uncomfortable at the gym because they don't know what they're doing. If you give somebody a program, you'd be surprised how people can tap in. Over like when we do so for the meetup in April. Yeah.
It ain't gonna change the fact that the majority of Americans are not going to the gym. They don't go. They're dying because of health related reasons. You know why? Because it's uncomfortable for them to stop eating snacks. It's uncomfortable for them to cut out certain things that they want. They want to be happy and comfortable all the time. So they're not picking up any type of motion to move. So they just become here. And they're settling for here. And this is the majority of Americans. The vast majority.
I think I mean I can't even you're right.
They would have to sacrifice, and sacrifice is uncomfortable. It's waking up and not being able to eat donuts for breakfast, cereals, uncomfortable. When you gotta switch you start eating oranges, real oranges, not the ones that sit in the cans and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's uncomfortable. Waking up early in the morning at 5 a.m., going to the gym, your muscles start hurting. You get injuries. You gotta soak in ice. You're limping out of bed because you're working out muscles you might never even knew you had. All that shit is very uncomfortable, but it's worth it.
That shit is worth it, bro. That's like the.
So that's the thing. We're the ones actually putting in the uncomfortable things, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
but they never earn it. They never learn it because they're staying comfortable.
They're staying.
I'm comfortable.
They're not comfortable. They're complacent. Like they are complacent. They don't have any drive. That's a miserable person. There's games that we played, like football games, right? But this can go for any sport. And whoever plays sports can attest. The games that are worth it are not even fun. Like when you playing teams that are equally as good, how hard you gotta play is almost like it's not fun. But those are the only games that you remember. There was a game one time I broke these 3 fingers, right? These 3. And I had to tape them bitches up.
Yeah, they don't do nothing with it but put it next to the other one. I broke a toe.
Yeah, and I'm tackling motherfuckers. I got a nosebleed, all types of shit. I don't even know how my nose is bleeding. Shit crazy. But that's the best game in the world. But I don't even know if I was hurting the whole game. That's not misery though. That's what it's supposed to be like. Too savvy.
That's what it's supposed to be like for you.
That's
what I'm saying. Like, I understand everything that you're saying. Of course, we have to have a conversation, so there's no point of us sitting up here agreeing with each other. We have to work through the conversation. I know a lot of people in chat don't understand that, and that's why they're in chat. But the definition of complacent or synonym for it is self-satisfied. I remember when my cousin first started pushing against religion when I was young. He told me all religion is a bunch of motherfuckers pretending like they're perfect so they can look down on other people. Whole time you come from the same place and you going back to the same place as everybody else making decisions. And now you mad because you doing shit that you don't want to do in your life because you're trying to please somebody. But you making yourself miserable because you're pleasing everybody else. So when you see people living freely and who they are, not giving a fuck about what other people think, you think they miserable, but that's actually you projecting the misery that's already inside of you.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree. I think people got to do more hard shit, man, and realize the satisfaction that comes with doing hard shit. Right? Like I ain't gonna hold you. Since yesterday, my shoulder been aching like shit, like almost like a toothache, right? It just constant. But I think it's improving, right? And I've been putting it to the test. Now I need to go get this MRI to make sure it's not torn. But it's the fact that you got to put yourself through hard shit, and you be surprised how proud of yourself you are.
But you're telling me that like I don't understand that.
I mean, it's 317 people.
No, I'm saying like one of the hardest things I've ever done was fasting for 30 days, right? No food, just water. At the time, I'm driving trucks. So toward the end of my fast, I'm in the sun, I'm dropping trailers. I'm still working as a truck driver, and I can feel my energy depleting. I wind up making myself sick or whatever. And a lot of people like always saying like, "Oh, why do you fast? Da da da. That's not healthy. Da 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 da." No, because they're comfortable, right? So within this understanding that shit wasn't like, I love food. I'm from New Orleans. New Orleans is the best place on earth for food. So to say that I'm out here not working and I'm not eating, that shit is unhappy. That shit is uncomfortable. That shit is miserable. But when I fast, my connection with God, everything goes up. The fact that I went 30 days without food, you can't tell me what I can't do. I could do whatever the fuck I want to do if I put my mind to it. That's how you get over an addictive personality. I'm gonna give it up.
There we go. And that's I'm
gonna move around.
And that's how you.
So I'm not doing that. Like how your outcomes look. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna move around.
But look, that's what we saying when we go back to the initial premise. That's how you know women are more miserable, because to your point, men push through. Men do hard shit, like what you name it, naturally, right? And we're held accountable by more things than y'all, i.e. society, or at different levels, at a higher level. And that's why we ain't miserable. We always doing some shit to where it's hard, we get through it. It's achievement. I'm proud of myself after that fact. And then when we get around our sweetheart, that's supposed to be a sweetheart, but instead she an asshole because something always an issue, that projection start to get on us.
Yeah, but you know what? I think when I got to YouTube, it changed my perspective. So it may be where you come from. So everybody's perspective will change depending on their outcome, right? Because you see, like, we meet people, men like you, but I know a lot of complacent niggas, and I know a lot of women who are pushing through, and a lot of men who don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, growing up in the earth, I'm seeing a lot of, like, I remember having this argument with my brother, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? We having this argument because it was a battle rap line, actually, right? Because the nigga was complaining like how he used to sell rocks, but his mama was a fiend, and we was like, that's a fix. Because all you gotta do is when your mama a fiend, all you gotta do is get your mama a house. She gonna be cool with all her friends. This the house. Niggas is coming here. It's easy for you to be the man. And I used to be trying to explain it to them how it's easy to sell drugs, it's easy to hustle, it's easy because you can find that so much because it's everywhere around. It's actually harder for niggas to be going to school, putting on suits, getting education, finding structure and order outside this shit. It's actually harder to leave this shit than to live in this shit. But y'all think y'all the hard ones.
Yeah, that was T-Top.
Yeah. T-Top, Grizzly Bear.
Yeah, man. Damn. Nah, that's true. Doing the things that are correct, right, in society. People think being out in the streets and doing that is so much harder. But I'm telling you, man, that's especially if you ever got fast money, that slow money is torture. But it's the way, right? It's sustainable. That's why you don't call it hustling. You got a career. Hustling is literally hustling. At a point, that shit gonna come to an end.
Cause it'll mess up your mindset. Like when I look at it and people say, oh, they about to do this to niggas that's killing niggas, the drug, and I'm like, hey, I'm from the hood, I'm from the slums. I know a bunch of people. I know more people that didn't make the decision to do the stupid shit than I know who was doing the stupid shit. It's only a couple of crash outs in the neighborhood. Everybody in the neighborhood ain't growing up being crash outs. So actually, you come from certain circumstances and you could have made a better decision. People are always thinking, oh, these kids is under love. Man, these niggas was hugged. There was kids. Their mamas loved them. They want shoes. They want to be down. They want to be cool. And that's the easy thing to do, to be accepted, to stand out and actually do the right thing, to say, nah, I ain't smoking and I don't need to smoke. That's not cool. To be the one that's saying, to be the girl to be like, I'm not having sex just because y'all having sex. I don't want to have kids just because y'all having kids. I'm not. You're the one pushing through. You're the one uncomfortable because you're going against the fucking grain. It's easy to come. It's easy to just flop.
Yeah.
The easiest thing to do is be a flop.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. I say men, in terms of the fellas, right? So you don't fall into misery. I can't get behind that manifest destiny shit. I don't believe in manifestation, right? Faith without works is dead. You can have an idea, but you really have to put in the pain, effort, and work to get there, to get it done. 100%, right? There are gonna be people along the way, God willing, that'll be able to help you, and it's okay to take the help, but understand it falls on you at the end of the day, fellas. Point blank, period.
And you know what? That's why I keep saying, like, more than we need to be trying to attack each other, we have to like, women are big in manifestation. In the spiritual world, everything is about manifestation. Everything is about writing it down, burning it, burying it in your backyard. Everything, the secret, everything is about words of affirmation and manifesting the life that you want and visualizing the life that you want. And so many women will tell you, I got it because I manifested. I was speaking this over my life. I was saying this. Hey, and these things just started happening. You see what I'm saying? Just how this happened. This was my manifestation. You worked, but I manifested this. I didn't have to say nothing to you. I said something to God and it happened. See what I'm saying? So because we're trained different and we're getting results from the things that we're doing, like, it's not going to change, because the women continue to get results from manifestation. They're going to keep manifesting. But men are not. Men are the hard workers, and I commend y'all for that. I commend y'all for y'all role, but we're never going to be y'all, and I don't want us to be y'all. We're different for a reason. But
Rel, I would argue that the women are actually getting results though. I saw. Yeah, and the reason why I saw just recently, it was a year ago, but this time when people start doing those manifest parties and boards and shit like that. And I was DJing, and it was like a manifestation part, right? And so they got all these magazines, and they cut out all the shit and was like putting it on there.
Vision boards.
Yeah, that vision board shit. And they all was like, man was up there, right? Start of a family, like just those things, right? But then the conduct didn't allow it though, right? Yeah, so I know them, right? So I can just see it. Like now, they doing the same things they've been doing, regardless of the vision board, because the behavior didn't change, right? So I just don't know if it's working as a whole. Feel me?
But that's not. But face without works is dead within that way. But manifestation and work goes hand in hand. Like you can't say I want a job and then never go look for a job. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that's not the process of it. Like I said, a lot of women don't actually stand on business, and then I think that we sign up for things that we're not willing to put the work in for. You know what I'm saying? I can manifest my dream body, but if I never go to the gym and I never start eating right, the dream body is not going to come. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to come without the action behind it. So you have to put the action behind it, and a lot of women don't put the action behind it. That's why I said majority of women actually do not want to be married. As society says that this is the goal in your life, marriage is work. It's sacrifice. It's realizing that everything is actually not about you. And I think that is a very hard concept for women to understand, that everything doesn't revolve around me. That sometimes I'm gonna have to put my needs and everything before myself, and I'm gonna have to put him first. And you know what I'm saying? Like some days I need to I only need to complain on Fridays. I'm gonna save all my complaints for Fridays, just so he don't have to deal with complaining every day. I know so many men who work hard and they come home and their house is dirty and they eat McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? So I've watched that, and I'm telling you that majority of women are just like, they're not built to be wives. Now they can acknowledge that if they acknowledge that and actually make the adjustments and changes. I'm not saying that it's impossible for them to be a wife. What I'm saying is, with their mind frame of how they think and them not understanding how much work this actually is. It's like people who lie on job applications, and you get there, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't even know what you're doing. You're lying to get on an application for something, and now you don't even, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. So what? It sounds like women got to make some changes, man.
They do.
I'm telling you, when Arnold was saying that shit, and salute to Arnold, man, I really felt what he was saying. And I'm saying, feel, he like, yo, men are literally willing to do the things that women saying they asking for. And men know when we don't hit those markers, we understand that we'll be at a deficit in terms of options. Mm-hmm. It's like women don't see it the same way, but it's highly problematic because now there's a level of delusion and manifesting that doesn't actually come to fruition. And then what happens?
And that's the thing, because let's say we got Jay-Z and he sold drugs. Now he's a billionaire because he exists. I can, right? So as long as you have enough influencers who are telling you that something can work by being the exception to the rule, I think more women lean into being the exception to the rule than following the rules. And men follow the rules. Men aren't all, majority of men are like, this the fucking rules. Bro, I'm gonna just follow the fucking rules. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. There are men who want to be exceptions to the rule. There are women who want to be exceptions to, but the majority of women want to be the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
He got 7 kids he don't take care of, but he gonna love me. He gonna take care of my 8 kids. He cheated on her and he disrespected her, but he gonna love me and take care of me. I watched him be a horrible person to everybody, but I'm gonna change him.
That's crazy, son.
But that's the way women think. So
y'all gotta stop that shit.
We just have to learn how to
stop doing that. Yes, stop doing that.
We have to learn how to process better, and I don't necessarily think we can do it without a man or a woman who it knows how to process. So let's say like Crimson Cure.
Yeah.
Right? She's a woman, so you got to understand that her brain functions just like any woman's brain. All our brains function the same, right? But then there's a level of processing that we have to go through to bring our emotion into logic.
Yeah.
But sometimes we never bring our emotion into logic. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%. And in terms of adjustment, right? I had this one chick, right? So I'm like, hey, I'm about to leave. You ready, right? And it was like, oh, well, hold on, etc. You know, whatever the case was. I left. Like, I'm not waiting. I'm not that. Once I'm saying, hey, you ready? We about to get out of here, right? And there's no like, oh, I left. Like, you understand, right? If we in agreement that when I roll, we rolling, right? That's the agreement. And then it's like, oh, well, all right, cool. I'm going though.
But that's why I say you have to. I think, you know what I think women need? They need to date dudes that's out of their league. That's the best training session for them, right? Because when you date men that's beneath you, you ain't got. He's just happy to be here. You will never have to adjust or change. If you level up your like surroundings, if you're around a bunch of women, if you're around a bunch of people that go to the gym, you're around a bunch of people who think vastly than you, and you put yourself around greatness, you'll start to make adjustments. Like, I remember when I first met Granville and Cheeky, I used to take a long time to get ready, right? Or whatever. So I think we was going somewhere for Christmas, and they was like, we about to go da da da. They be up, they be out the door, they be running. But I started paying attention to shit, so I'd be like already on go. And I remember Granville was like, man, Sherelle about to take all day. And Cheeky was like, wait, no. He's like, you didn't adjust it to some shit, watch this. And 5 minutes later, I came out, and then Granville was like, what the fuck? And he was like, told you. But it's like, I already know. So it's like, I'm going to wear a simpler hairstyle. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do my makeup. If I'm going to do this when I wake up, I'm going to take my showers at nighttime instead of in the morning time. I'm going to have this, and this ready because they be on go. So you just adjust to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when you really care about the people that you with and you around, you adjust your behavior. You adjust how you act. And I think that's why I'm big on only being around people who I care about, who really care about me. Because when you just around some dumb shit, all you're gonna do is dumb shit. Nobody's pushing you.
Yeah,
I think you gotta stop being around your fat friends if you're trying to lose weight.
That's a fact. Now, one thing though, I recommend that people be explicit though in their expectations, right? I don't ever want to assume that somebody knows that they need to make an adjustment. I want to make sure that I'm explicit in saying, hey, here's what X, Y, and Z is, and it needs to change to this if we're going to be successful, right? So I like to trust but verify, right? So if I give you the expectation, now you know exactly where the bar is, right? I don't want to assume that you know you got to make an adjustment, right? Because then you leave a little bit of an out, feel me?
But this is what I'm also trying to let you know. There are some people who are never going to do better, who don't want to do better, and they're not going to, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like what Mr. Fantastic was telling me. Like, I think that one of the biggest things that I hinder my life is in trying to drag people along the way. And I only ever really made adjustments when it was time for me to go in isolation. You know what I'm saying? I have to go in isolation to make adjustments, because if I'm waiting on everybody to go to the gym with me, I'm not going to the gym. Now, I lost weight and they didn't.
Yeah.
Now, I'm waiting on everybody to go to school with me. Now, I'm making this money and I got this education and they don't. And this is years later. And I remember like even paying for people's bills so they could go to truck driver school and paying for them to get their CDLs and them coming home and not driving. This is men. Not using their CDLs. Sitting around not doing nothing. And that's what you got to realize, that even, like Russell just said, if you gave a nigga that's not doing nothing is a nigga that don't want to do nothing. Even if you gave a nigga who don't want to do nothing something to do, nothing would still get done.
Yeah.
Nothing would still get done.
Real shit. There's a phrase that coaches use: potential will get you fired. So, you'll have a defensive end. The boy is 6'4", 230 pounds. In high school, that's big, right? He moved fast, he athletic, but something ain't there, right? And you try to get it because you see the aesthetic. You like, yo, I know you can be good, but if he don't want to be good and put that pain in, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
You know something? Women are so totally different. And I was telling Venus, we have to stop dating men off potential because they don't. Men do not date women off potential. They slot you off who you are. And they will deal with you or not deal with you off everything that they already see. And they don't care about what you say. And because I tell women, I'm like, you could tell him that you ain't gonna smash on the first night, but if he smashed you on the first night, you think he give a fuck about what you said? You can tell him you ain't dealing with this, and then he gonna put you through it just to see if you gonna deal with it. Like he gonna see that, like a man's gonna see that, and women don't. Like women just they deal. You're dealing with somebody like off potential, of what you hope that they could be, and then now they're not living up to an expectation that you put in your head that they're not even aware of. Like, what if every day I woke up and was like, man, I'm mad at you because you ain't text me good morning. And you don't even know you expect me to text you good morning every morning? Yeah. I didn't even know that. So now I'm failing you because of an expectation that you put in your head about me. And you complaining about some shit that ain't got nothing to do with me. You expected me to marry you in 6 months. You expected a big house. I never told you I was going to do that. And if I told you I was going to do it and I didn't get it done, you should have walked away. What you complaining for?
Yeah.
Stand on business.
Let's drop that link. Almonds.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, healthy snacks. My breakfast every morning.
Ice.
Like,
share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Homeboy with the $5 says, Shalom, Ham and Sherelle. Looking forward to the show. Matreon. Old dude was popping. He says, spin is not only a class, Sherelle. Salute the old dude for the first 20 ball of the day. Didn't fit. Melly Mel been a member for 7 months. Do women like peace and quiet like men do? I don't think so. Not like men do, no. Caesar Palace says, Hamp. What's up, Caesar? Once again, man, salute to my brother Caesar's Palace, who donated a total of $2,000 in contribution to the last event. This might get rocky too. Caesar, I love you. I appreciate you. All the support from when we only had 30 people in the chat. That shit means the world. Sherelle, start talking to Caesar too. TNB with the $2. Do Sherelle grow her oranges? I don't think so. I don't even know what they are.
I'm about to plant me an orange tree.
CJ was popping.
Put him in the fuck. Put him in the
Huh?
Bounties on somebody could put me in the bathroom. I knew he was coming. Didn't we talk about this before the show started?
This is my point right here. Of course, I'm gonna come debate it. Feel me? So you want me to start it off or what?
Yeah, I mean, we've been kind of working through a couple of different things. Freezy, Shalom. Salute to the general, man. CJ, yeah, man. So we just thinking through it, man. Are men more miserable in actuality if we base it off complaints, or are men becoming miserable because we're the company of misery? That misery being women.
So men aren't miserable. We are the company to women's misery. They trying their best to make us as miserable as them. Sure, I like the way you just inconsistent in your thought process. You be talking real shit sometimes. You just be too inconsistent. But so I had a couple points. I didn't take notes this time, so they're gonna be all over the place. But yeah, men been trying their best to please women. They're unpleasable. I mean, we try to say it's hyperbolic, but I don't even think it's hyperbolic at this point. They miserable. Like, it is what it is. We and she said, why do we chase misery? We don't chase misery. First of all, we just kind of figured this shit out that y'all just naturally miserable. Maybe men of the past knew that shit, but we don't chase misery. We chase women because we want to be with women. We love women. We care about women. That's why we made the society the way it is, because we really cared. Me and Ilkan talk about this shit all the time, Ali. Like the men care so much that we try our best to make women happy, but they are unpleasable. They're miserable people. I don't know. It is what I mean. You just said you don't like that, so I'm not gonna.
No. It's fine. You can say it. I mean, I'm just.
It is, but yeah, it is what it is.
How do you?
No, I had a point. Just the point. I'm sorry.
Well,
so women.
let me ask you,
go ahead.
How do we try to please women? What do you mean by that?
Anybody that got a girl, they try to buy them. You said you got a $2,000 coat hanger or whatever you call it, a coat rack, the most expensive coat rack. Why did you buy that? It wasn't for you.
Nah, that shit.
Who was it for, Hemp? Who asked you to buy that?
My wife.
Exactly. Point proven. And she didn't even use it. Wait, and was she happy when she bought that for her? Did she say, "Thank you, baby, I will never ask for anything again"? How long did it take her to ask for the next thing she asked for?
Well, she said thanks. I mean,
I bet. Thanks. Okay, thank you. Now tomorrow, give me something else. That's what she said. Oh, and I want to say sorry. So women kind of understand. They don't like us figuring them out. So Sherelle be trying to throw us off the sniff, off the case. Feel me? That's why she went. I don't even think it's I think it's subconsciously that they don't like us figuring them out. So they'll try to throw us off the trace or off the trail. Feel me? Just by windmilling, saying a bunch of nothing, just confuse us. Because they don't getting mad over nothing. Getting mad. They don't like us figuring that shit out. Huh? That's why men have to stay quiet for so long. Because once you start talking and once you start saying, "Hey, I'm starting to figure this shit out," they start throwing the fit. They start going crazy. But that's it. I'll mute on that one.
When you say men try to, Unk Man was popping, Sporties was goody, Marcus, what up? CMC Carmen was popping, Kenya salute, CC, what up? What up, Will? What up, Isaac? I think I seen down south too. When we say we try to please women, what do you mean by that?
My girl said her car acting up. Guess where I'm at right now? On my way to go get her car so I could go take it to the shop for her. Feel me? Like, we just do this shit naturally. We care, bro. My car got a check engine light came on. Can you come do it? Can you come help me? On my way to go help her ass. Feel me? So we just do it naturally. We problem solvers. We want to help. We want to fix what they problems. We want to make sure. We want to try to get them to be happy. But like we said earlier, misery loves company. They don't want to be happy. They just want you to accompany them in their misery.
So when miserable men talk about this topic, it really negates the point. Because
CJ, you sound miserable, man. How y'all doing, fam?
CJ is miserable, okay? Let's break CJ down. I couldn't wait for you to come up here. CJ is literally a complaining man who complains and puts himself in situations that he doesn't like and then stays in a consistent form of misery. And then he takes his misery, brings it to Discord, and tries to project his misery onto everybody else. CJ is literally with a woman who he complains and talks down on in front of thousands of people every time he hits this link. My girlfriend don't do this. My girlfriend don't do that. She's ungrateful. She this, she that. And it gets worse in Discord. So join Discord. But he's still going to be with her. He don't stand on business. So if she's really a horrible person like he says she is, then why is he enabling her bad behavior? Because then I said that was the problem with men, that they enable women's bad behavior. So I know your girlfriend watched, so we're not gonna go too deep. Because I ain't messing. I know she be watching the show. But you're always complaining about somebody that you're with.
Say whatever you need to. She don't watch.
And as a man, you somehow think she the problem. When you're the complaining, when if you're always complaining to us about your girlfriend, which means you are the miserable one, CJ. You're miserable. Another thing. You can't think that you being considerate in areas where you consider means you're a considerate person. So I think that men, that's another thing right here. So let's say.
Well, Sherelle, you gonna let him respond to the first?
Wait,
first?
no, I'm just saying like.
Thank you, bro. She gonna keep
He
going.
not gonna be able to remember it all
until I forget.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not gonna barely remember this shit.
It's CJ. Go, CJ.
So first of all, so when men get together with their boys and say, "Hey, my bitch complain over stupid
We're not
shit."
your boys. You be complaining to me.
Oh my
Callie,
God! Can I
Love
finish
C.
or not, Sherelle? Thank
This
you.
man.
When we get together with our boys, we get together with our boys, and we be like, "Man, she complaining about some stupid ass shit, bro." We be like, to the boy, be like, "You're a miserable person. You're just like, nah, this don't make sense. We are accompanying the miserable people. I am accompanying a miserable person. So yes, I'm expressing how what's going on in my life. But it could be my shit could be solved. Like I'm not a miserable. Like this shit is crazy. First of all, I don't just have unlimited complaints. If she did the shit that I asked her, my shit would be
You
solved.
said you wanted her to be a
problem
robot.
solvers. Well, shit, if she start being a robot, you think I would be complaining? You think I'd be like, oh, I can't believe I got a robot now? I'd be happy as fuck. Be like, yeah, she do what I want. She say what I want. Perfect. Problem solved. We problem solvers. I come over here so I tell the boys my issues so they can help me solve the problem. Men like, role models, mentors. We need that shit in our lives. We look to people with wisdom to help us get shit done. It's not me. It's not me being miserable. Y'all say we don't even want answers. We just want to talk about it. We don't want answers. This is what y'all do. Miserable, and y'all. That means y'all just want us to be miserable with y'all. We don't want solutions. Have you ever just thought that we just want to be heard? Yes, y'all want us to be miserable with y'all.
Thank God. Look at God. Look at God. Jesus Christ. This man is so miserable. He's not a miserable man. He's a miserable woman in a man's body. That miserable woman's spirit is all up and through him. He got a Jezebel spirit.
Message on your phone.
So wait, he gets to complain all the time, just like a woman, and expresses emotions to us, just like a woman. And he's not miserable. That don't make no sense to me.
Hold on now.
That was your girlfriend.
Bro, I think my girl be knowing I be cooking because she always I'm on my way to her job. Feel me? The big whatever.
She's watching the show.
I was cooking your ass right now. Go ahead.
You're miserable.
Go ahead. You can have the floor. Since I forgot where I left off on me.
No, I was explaining how you were miserable, how you actually complain and do all of these things that you're saying women do. You consistently do that, and we see you do that on a consistent basis. So actually, you're miserable, and then you're projecting your misery onto everybody else. I haven't seen pretty much any of the women get up here and talk negatively about the men that they're dealing with in their life. You do that because you're miserable. Also, women are emotional.
Let me tell you.
And they have chemicals in their brain that make them emotional. And the process of them expressing their emotions is talking about their emotions. So yeah, they have emotions and they express them by talking about them. Sometimes they skip the process of adding logic behind it, but the first step is actually expressing their emotions. So you don't like women because they're different, but just because they're different don't mean that they're miserable. Yes, women want to talk about how they feel. That's women. That's a women thing. You can't say that women are miserable because they're doing what's natural to them, which is talking about their feelings and their emotions that they're chemically and physically and genetically designed to be. That's not a problem. The fact is, you're not fixing what
Are you gonna let me reply, Sherelle?
I'm not finished.
Jesus.
You're not fixing what
I'm not gonna remember most of this shit.
Go ahead. I forgot you slow.
Okay, thank you. So you said the women don't come up here complaining about the man they with. Like I said the other day or yesterday, women will put on the front for the world, but as soon as they get in their house, they gonna let you hear all their misery. That shit gonna seep. That shit gonna pour out. It ain't even gonna seep out. It's gonna pour out. All the problems gonna pour out into your fucking lap, and they never solvable. It's always something. It's not even real problems. They just want to be mad about something. And what else did you just say?
That's your girlfriend, CJ, not the rest of the
That's
women.
most of y'all women. That ain't even my girl. That's most of y'all.
That's
most
just
of
your
y'all women do
girlfriend.
it. You just
That's
said the women don't get up here complaining about their men. But do they complain when
They
they get home? Do they
How do
complain
you
when
know?
they get
We
home?
don't know. We know you complain
No,
on here about your
the
girlfriend.
men say it all the time. Men say it all the time. My girl always complaining. My girl, she never happy. They never happy. Men always, we already agree upon this. It's just the word misery that most men are having a problem with. But if that's what it is, feel me? Most men know that women are hard to please. They really impossible to please. They always want something else. It's always something. Even when it's nothing, it's always something. But go ahead. I'll mute on that.
But then y'all said, like, we went through the process in Discord where y'all don't like women that like y'all. So y'all are just y'all are
We do
trying
like
to
women
please
that like.
women who don't even like y'all, right?
We do like women who
And
like us.
if y'all had women that liked y'all too much, that would be unattractive. Y'all don't want to be liked by women who like you.
That's not true, Sherelle. You just making shit up. You just making shit up. We like women that like us. Let me tell you, it's usually the ugly. It's usually the ugly ones that express they like their how they feel about us. The bad ones don't do it. If a bad bitch like me, I'm gonna like her just as much. I mean, like, thank you
So
God
that's
for
what I'm
giving me
saying.
this
You
blessing.
enabling her bad behavior because you like the way that she looks, so she doesn't have to have good character. So you're enabling it. So because
I didn't say that. I did not say that right now. How did you get that out of that?
You're always complaining. You're miserable. You're the number one complainer, CJ.
I complain for people to. I look for solutions
CJ,
to
are
my
you miserable?
problems.
Yes or no?
No, I'm not. I'm chilling.
So why are you always complaining? So complaining, you be complaining, but that doesn't make you miserable.
People that have complaints aren't necessarily miserable.
Okay, so why are women
People who have
miserable because
complaints,
you just
wait,
debunked your whole
because I
point.
just said it. No, because women's complaints are not solvable. They complain about nothing. They're just in a state of unhappiness.
Name 3 complaints that women complain about that's unsolvable.
I think Hemp already did this for you earlier.
No, I want you to do it. You're not Hemp. You're dumb.
It's not that they keep piling up with complaints. I'm not happy. Well, like, that's something that you got to figure out with them yourself. So that's a complaint right there. Not being happy. Another one. I don't know.
So you're telling me there's no solution to a woman's happiness?
It's an internal solution.
So is there a solution for a woman?
But I'm not saying there's no solution. I'm saying there's always going to be a.
CJ, you gotta slow down. I'm trying to slow down with you. I have ADHD. You gotta slow down.
Okay, all right.
I can't go as fast as I want to, so you're gonna have to slow down.
Okay, sure.
1, is there a solution to a woman's happiness?
Yes.
Okay, so you cannot use that point because you just said women complain about things that are unsolvable, and you said the number one thing, and you just said that there's a solution to it. So give me the second.
Okay, I misspoke. They have unlimited problems. Once you solve this problem, there's another problem. Sometimes they don't even want you to solve the problem. They just want you to be miserable with them, like I just said.
Okay.
So it's not that they have unsolvable problems.
They're not complaining about things that are unsolvable.
I'll say no.
I don't know what your argument is anymore. Okay.
I just said they have unlimited complaints. It's always something. It's always another complaint. After you solve this one, there's always another one. Even if you try to solve this one, they say, I didn't even want you to. I just want you to listen. I want you to be miserable with me.
So, do you feel like when women express their emotions, that's complaining?
Yes.
So that's not complaining, though. You know that, right?
Say that again.
You know it's a difference between complaining and expressing her emotions.
Sure, I'll give you that. You
So
can
you
express a
acknowledge
happy
that
emotion. You can express a happy emotion, and it ain't a complaint. I agree with that. Feel me?
and she can also express emotions of frustration,
Hmm.
disappointment,
That
fatigue.
would be a complaint, right? That would be a
So
complaint.
when she's expressing negative emotions, you take that as complaints.
Frustration, as you said, frustration. I would take that as a complaint. Yes, but my point is, you hear most of the time it's just frustration complaints. It's just emotions, negative emotions, like
You
you
ever thought about
frustration.
you're just a
What they
frustrating person,
hold on.
CJ?
Oh, maybe. Okay, most men are going through this. So you always try to say maybe it's you, CJ, but then I say most men agree that women are unpleasable. So then stop trying to say it's just you, CJ. It's not just me. It's not just me. Most men agree. They don't agree on the word misery, but they agree that women are very, very difficult to please. Damn near impossible, if not impossible. Ate her ass up. Get her out of here, Ham. Get her out of here. She confused.
No, I'm not confused because you're saying that women are just unpleasable. So there's no woman that's being pleased in the whole world.
I'm sure there's anomalies. There's outliers.
Have you ever thought about the fact that you're just a very miserable person and you're making your girlfriend miserable?
The other people I'm around aren't miserable.
You're making her miserable. You're sleeping with her. You're putting misery in her body.
No, Sherelle, that's not the case. I know y'all want to flip it so bad to make us be miserable. No, y'all the miserable people,
I'm
and
not
we
talking
are
about
accompanying
being
y'all
miserable.
misery.
CJ, you are
I'm not.
miserable.
I'm not a miserable person. No, I'm not.
Yes,
Sweetheart.
you are.
Nobody
CJ.
around me says I'm miserable.
We
Nobody in
all
my life.
think you're miserable.
Yes, the women on here. Yes, the women on here because I called y'all miserable. But the people in my
CJ,
real
we
life.
then
Can I
felt like
finish?
you was miserable.
Can I
That's why
finish,
you brought
Sherelle?
up the miserable
Can I
conversation.
finish? Most of the people in my real, none of the people in my real life ever said, CJ, you're a miserable person. CJ, they say,
They
CJ,
care
you're
about your
a joy
feelings.
to be around. They say, CJ, my boy at my gym, my coach, like, CJ, when you wasn't here, bro, we missed you, bro. You are one of the best people in this gym. What the fuck are you talking about?
Because
I'm a
they
miserable
enjoy your
person.
they your miserable company.
Yes, that's the opposite of miserable. If people enjoy you, that's the opposite of misery.
You enjoy your girlfriend?
When she's not being miserable.
CJ, was you really ready for a relationship, bro?
You just don't like your girlfriend. That
Man, we gotta
all
put your
women to be
simps.
miserable because you don't like your girlfriend.
I like my girl. I wouldn't be going to help her
Sometimes
get her
when
shit
she's
right.
not being miserable,
I
which is
wouldn't be going to
always,
help get her fix her car right now if I didn't like her.
but you should talk to her more because that's what she wants you to do.
I talk to her enough.
But she's not complaining about you not doing stuff like fixing her car.
As soon as I talk to her, more, she's gonna have another
You
complaint.
not talking to her enough.
It don't matter.
Talk to her enough.
Soon as I talk to her more, she's gonna have another complaint.
She's going to keep on complaining about it. Do you get it?
I tried. It didn't work. It don't work. She's
Because-
gonna be like, oh, I fixed that problem. Okay, baby, I'm done with problems. Shit ain't never happened. Shit ain't never happened in the fucking history of mendom. Where women said, okay, thank you for fixing my problem. I don't have any more problems for you, baby. I'm happy.
All right,
Shit
so
never happened.
so Fo want to holler at you, CJ.
Yeah, bro. What you mean, all man me? I guarantee I'm cool. Hello. Shit. All right. Anyway, bro. So was you ready to have a relationship from the gate?
Yeah, I was ready, bro. Why y'all say this shit? Why y'all qualify me for this shit?
Because you up here and we asked you questions.
Go ahead. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
He asked you a question, CJ.
I said, yeah, I was ready. I said, yeah.
Oh.
You don't sound sure, bro. Because you just said a minute ago, if the bad bitch came along and she was on your team and ready to go, you would rock with her.
That's
right?
just to the robot point. Like if a person,
but I guarantee that bad bitch gonna come with a G class, you hear me? With an E class or something, boy. And what you doing right now, you ain't gonna be able to fix that, cuz. Tell you that.
Wait, I'm confused, bro. I don't understand what you just said. You gotta stop talking country, bro. I don't understand that country shit.
Country. That's like you stop talking like You can't do it. So I just gotta, you know. So
I get you that.
all right. So you get what I'm saying though?
Nah, I don't know what the fuck you just said.
I was saying you said a minute ago, if a bad bitch came along, you would if she was on your program, you would rock with it. But the shit you're doing right now, you wouldn't be able to afford that because that bitch 9 times 10 gonna come with a fucking Benz or something flooring that you can't get fixed like that, cuz. So you will let your guard down for a bad bitch instead of dealing with what you got going on and trying to fix that to the best of your ability. You feel me? Cause coming on here complaining every week about your girl and knowing that she's watching, it's not gonna help this shit, cuz.
First of all, she's not watching, bro. Second of all, you didn't. I said she wasn't. Second of all, you did not defeat my argument with that point you just made. I don't know what the fuck you're even talking about.
I had a question. I'm not trying to defeat shit.
Well, that shit was irrelevant.
No, it wasn't.
Who up next, bro? Get Fo out of here. Put him in the bathroom.
That's it.
I fuck with you, Fo, though. You my nigga, though. But yeah, women are miserable. Y'all still miserable. Love C agree with me. Come, let Love C speak. Let me hear my girl Love C.
All right.
I'll tell you about the girl thing, CJ.
The lovely lady Love C.
All right, real quick before Love C go, let me get Trigger Mike in and read these super chats. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let me read this. Drabo was popping, been a member for 4 months. Says salute DJ Hamp, panel in the chat. Salute my G.
Brother.
Allow with the 10 ounces. CJ is cooking. Allow with the 10 ounces. Sherelle, is it fine? I find it harder and harder to listen to you because you sound like a strong feminist and hide behind man talking points sometimes.
I'm a strong feminist. Whatever I sound like, I am. You're not going to do anything to change it. So let it go.
Black King with the $5 says men complain to find solutions. Women complain to vent. Allow with the $10 says the person that is not in a relationship person always has the most to say on these panels. Allow with the honey ball. Y'all see how she insults CJ and call him a woman in a man's body. She have no respect for a man. Sherelle is miserable as CJ because she be venting every episode of This Might Be Risky. That's why the panel need a break sometimes. Salute to the
What do I think?
You don't respect
That don't know none of my problems.
Yo.
Hey, get him. That's what
Man, oh man, he danced like that in real life too.
Word.
Yep. Allow with the 20 ball says, y'all really ain't listening to CJ, bro. Bro said he comes up here for help because he considers them to be like friends and family.
Shit like that.
Maybe we all bro got salute. Oh, maybe we all bro got. Salute to him and his relationship. Pray they get it together. Danielle, salute. Appreciate you with the upgrade as well, huh? Salute to Reese in the building, been a member for 5 months. See this pals with the $2 says CJ did not tell a lie. 100% fact.
Perfect.
Shit like that.
Trigger Mike, what's popping?
Man, what up, man? Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing?
What's goody?
Ain't nothing.
That's good, brother.
Help me get back on track. I mean, what is it? Men miserable, women miserable. What's the
Yeah, so misery loves company. We had a conversation in the Discord, and I brought it to the panel. However, it got mined out, I would say, at a C level, right? But then as we were talking through it more and more, it was actually said that men are actually the miserable ones. But Sherelle and I had an hour discourse, and I don't believe that to be true.
Yeah, I feel you. I heard some of that. The men are not. I mean, damn, it's hard because every time we make it a man-woman thing, then we want to compare who's more miserable. So it's just comparative suffering, right? I said this to a lady the other day, and I don't even think she picked it up. I was like, the black woman is everything the black man is. If niggas is violent, if the most violent man is a nigga, then who's the most violent woman? Right? So if a black man the most violent, then a black woman is the most violent. The black woman is everything the black man is. If the black woman is miserable, trust the black man is miserable. So I think we shouldn't separate the two. And CJ was cooking. I just think his point got missed.
Wait, but what's the catalyst though? Which sex is the catalyst to this misery?
You said which sex? Ooh, you know what? I think it's the departure. The departure. So women being miserable is a part of their departure from, like, let's say, the family unit, or being under the covering of men. I think women's misery is on Front Street. It's what's been weaponized for them to gain independence, but it's really just a propaganda campaign to sell them shit. You see what I'm saying? And I think as a collective, women are miserable because they realize they got to suffer consequences for their bad decisions, and we can't save them from it. I think I told you this like months ago. We get the blame because we aren't man enough to save them from their bad decisions. So every man is as miserable as the women he loves. Because y'all talking about CJ's girl. I don't even want to make it personal, right? He was cooking with fish grease because when he said all women are miserable, let's talk about our moms, our sisters, our aunts, our girl cousins. All the women we love before we even got in a relationship, they were miserable as fuck, right? And many of them did this shit to themselves, bro. You see what I'm saying? So let's not even talk about our own romantic relationships. We knew women were miserable watching them as we were coming up, right? So, I think that's 100% true. The black man gonna be miserable because the black woman is miserable. Same shit.
Damn.
He cooked at the end.
So and that's what it is, right? Misery is that person, right? Long before we even get into the relationship aspects, but we see misery manifest in relationships with the constant complaining and never being satisfied. But to your point, misery starts long before you bump into anybody else.
Yep. And I think just put it this way, bro. Men are miserable. The men become miserable because the woman is now a problem they can't solve. If you want me to call myself miserable when I'm really down, is because I got a problem I can't solve. And if my woman is a part of the problem, I feel like I have I'd rather be deleted. Like it's crazy. When I got a problem I can't solve and my counterpart is the problem. I mean, what does it say? It's better to be something than with a quarrelsome woman. I'd rather be in the basement. I'd rather live in the basement than to be with this problem living in my house. And Fo, I want to say something to my man Fo. He said he all good, right? You say you all good, bro, right? I guarantee you a part of your, if any man that says he's all good has dissociated himself from the whole thing entirely, right? You probably on some, hey, it's me, I'm doing me, fuck everybody else. The only men that I know that are doing good have dissociated themselves from everybody so they could be that way. Because if you love your sister, you love your mama, you want better for them, you're trying to help them make better decisions, they're pulling on you for money and support, but they won't get right, so they don't need to pull on you as hard. The only way for you to not be miserable as a man is to completely disassociate yourself from them. Because if you love a woman as a man, you a miserable fucking man if she's a miserable woman. I guarantee.
Hey, Trigger Mike cooked at the end. They are a problem that we can't solve. And that's why we become That's
still
some real
good.
shit, feel me?
Fuck they talking about?
You on
Damn,
mute?
so
Yeah.
my bad.
me?
Disassociation is the only way you could not be miserable because, to CJ's earlier point, we are invested in the women.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah, I mean, damn, I hate to. You remember when I said we need to stop talking about unity and start talking about division? Y'all know when people say the people make it and never come back to the hood. That's disassociation I'm talking about. That's the type of disassociation. If I come back to this mug, y'all will drain me and make me as miserable as I once was in life. Because every time I come back and try to help in my own way, y'all tell me how I should be helping. And I'm not doing enough. Even though I couldn't write off everything I gave, and now people want more and they're not satisfied. You see what I'm saying? Like, the only way to not be miserable is to disassociate yourself, even if you love these people. It's crazy.
Damn. What you think, Fo?
I don't know, bro. I ain't disassociated though. You hear me? I'm still active. It's just the point of I know what to deal with, not to deal with. And the only reason I ain't got a woman right now, due to the fact of I know where I'm at in life. So I know it wouldn't be wise for me to invest myself in to help finance or founder somebody else's life or help guide somebody else at this point when I'm just getting to my plateau of where I want to be at. So, you know, it's a smarter move on my behalf, but I still know what I'm capable of doing, you know. As far as that. So
yeah, facts. Now, would you call that a disassociation? So what I'm saying is that as a woman you're around, she develop a strong liking to you, and you're like, hey,
right
baby, I'm not on that right now. You see what I'm saying? That's disassociation in the manner that I'm speaking. You're gonna have to deny her what she wants in order to keep your mental state safe and stay focused on what you're trying to focus on.
Nah, because it's been in the wheel to what she wants, and it's not a mutual agreement.
And that's what I'm saying. I think we're saying the same thing, bro. I promise.
All right, well, so yeah.
C shook her head. So C, what's popping?
What up,
Hey,
love?
Love C.
Hey guys. I disagree with you, Trigger Mike. I think what you're saying, and I think that there's a space for it.
Microphone, see.
Yeah.
Technology is terrible. Damn.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that miserable one is like you can make it blanketed like that. It's an individual work, right? So what Fo is saying, I think that's actually respectable. That's what keeps you from being miserable. So if you realize that you're in a position, right, where you're not where you don't want to be or where you need to make some sort of improvement, the best thing that you can do is work on yourself, right? He's not saying I've written off relationships because I'm not in the place where I want to be. What he's saying is that I know that I have things that I need to work on, and I'm gonna get myself in a position where I can show up and be who and what I'm supposed to be. That's actually the opposite of misery. People become miserable when they have a fixed mindset that they don't have the power to change the situations that are happening in their life. So he's actually has a growth mindset where he's like, hey, I know what's out there for me. I know what I'm capable of doing, and I'm gonna put in the work so I can be that. So I think that's a little bit different. That's the difference between actually arriving at a place of misery as opposed to maybe not being content with where you are.
Yeah, because I don't want to play house with no woman, bro. Especially I'm too old to play. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but he disassociated until he's ready, right? That's the way he can avoid misery, isn't it?
That's unfortunate to do that, but sometimes you have to because the girl will or what she wants be too strong for what you got going on.
Sometimes. I don't even know what that means, man.
I mean, minority is that? Can I say that?
Minority. Well, I mean, it's not how we usually say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. So
Yeah.
Love C, you didn't disagree with me at all. You said like you said I disagree, and then contextually, you know what I mean, paraphrase everything I said. So Foe is not miserable. So that we both agree on that. And
But-
he exercised the discipline so he didn't have to be miserable by disassociating himself from all things that could create misery for him. So we don't disagree on that.
So Trigger Mike, but I
Okay.
do feel like you kind of like stole some of my talking points. Where you was like, oh, if the black man is miserable, the black woman is miserable. I've always said that every time you find a black woman, there's an equal to her. If you see the hood black woman, there's a hood black man. You see an uppity black woman, you see an uppity black man. You see the nerdy black woman, you see the nerdy black man. Every woman is just a reflection of her man. This is also Asian women. This is also Russian women. You've ever met Russian women and Russian men? If you ever work with them, they are very aggressive people.
Sure,
rude
I
people.
don't like what you just did right there.
So I'm pretty sure you did steal my talking point. Also,
Nah.
I was the one that said men's major problem within their misery is that they enable bad behavior in women.
So
if you become the complainer and you're always complaining about a woman not respecting you, not appreciating you, and you continuously deal with that woman, now you're the problem and not the problem solver that you say that you are. Unless you have the belief that no woman in the world will ever appreciate you,
I'll say something
then
real
why
quick.
would you deal with women at all? You don't want to be appreciated? Then if you don't want to be appreciated, why are you complaining about not being appreciated?
Can I say something real quick? The thing is, leaving isn't really a solution to men. Like, leaving something that we care isn't a solution. If my kid is acting up, just leaving it is the solution. Like, no, that's a stupid ass solution that y'all keep trying to make us just leave us. Just leave. Just leave. No, we want to solve. We care about y'all. We don't want to leave y'all. I don't know. I don't understand why y'all don't get that. That's why Trigger Mike, you can't even give them a little bit of a hint of you blaming it on the man, because they'll take that shit and run with it. You saying if the man is miserable, the women are miserable. That they'll say, oh, okay, and they'll take that and grab it and hold on for dear fucking life.
I feel like there's a disconnect because the masses of men are saying we care about women, and the masses of women are saying they feel uncared for.
no,
Right?
I mean,
Even no matter how much we do, like Arnold said,
because you have a different outlook on life that you want, that is not her outlook on life. And instead of you trying to accommodate that, you think that everything that she does that's not you is just dumb. It's just stupid. It's just, why do you care about feelings? Why do you care about emotions? Why are you a woman?
but like Arnold said, we hear their complaints and we try to change. We try to acquiesce, but they still say we feel unhappy, we feel unwanted. It's a never-ending cycle. It's never going to stop. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's never going to stop because they're miserable. They're never going to feel wanted because they maybe on the inside they feel unwanted. I don't know what it is. It's a never-ending cycle of misery. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. They're gonna always say we feel unwanted, even if you try in your heart, even if you try in your heart, even if you change it, everything that they say they want changed, they still gonna say I feel unwanted.
yeah.
Oh man, C, what's your thoughts, man?
So, as far as what? Because now I'm kind of like, sorry. I'm sorry. I did want to say, Trigger Mike, what I heard, I think the way that I heard what you said, I processed it differently. So I apologize if it wasn't a disagreement. I thought I heard you say that Foe was something that you didn't say. So
No apology necessary. No apology.
Man, I think that people are I think that men, as it relates to relationships, men and women don't really we understand that there are differences, but we don't understand how those differences are supposed to work together for us to have balance, right? And so because we don't know how to use the other person to the best of their ability, we demonize the things that we don't know how to use, right? So if I don't understand that, left to my own devices, I can be all over the place, right? I'm gonna be chaotic. I'm gonna be, I'm gonna want to renovate this. I'm gonna want to buy a new that. I'm gonna want to travel over here. I'm gonna want to do all that. That's me, right? But if I don't realize that the no that you give me is providing a structure around my, wanting to just be all over the place, I won't appreciate it. I'll see what structure is, what discipline is. I see it as control, right? And so if you don't understand that the nature of my emotions is not necessarily to for you to bend to my every whim, but it's for you to be able to see like, hey, I'm going to be logic, I'm going to be ambitious, I'm going to go after what it is I want, and in the process I may bulldoze people who I value those relationships with. So a good wife is going to be able to bring an emotional element in to just say, you know what, honey, maybe you should consider this. The plan is wonderful, but consider this approach. Something where she doesn't detract from what it is that you're doing, but she's a support to you, right? But most people don't know how to handle their power in a way where they can be a support to the person that they're with. So instead, I just demonize what it is I don't understand. And that's what happens when you don't know how to work what it is you have. You become unhappy. Even CJ, if you try to do this, I've tried to do, and he mentioned some things that he tried to do. I tried to do this, it didn't work. I tried to do that and it didn't work, right? But we only hear one side of the story. She might be able to say like, listen, I expressed this to him and he didn't change. I expressed that and he didn't change. So you have to be able to find the differences in your partner and work together with them so they're beneficial. That's what's going to help you grow, and that's what keeps you from being miserable. You'll remain happy as long as you continue to grow. It's stagnation that makes people discontent.
Cooking. I agree with everything you just said, Love C. I'll put it like this. So we've already defined like why men and women are miserable, but I think we also need to talk about what keeps them miserable. I'm disappointed in a lot of my counterparts, right, that are my age, people that, supposed to know better, so on and so forth. And I realize like they stay miserable due to their lack of obedience because they know better. It's like you can make this change. That's why we always talking about change. This is all you got to do. Everything Hamp was like, nah, we need to start talking about solutions. The reason we get so much pushback for talking common sense is because in order for people to understand how to change themselves, they got to admit they fucked up in the first place. And that's why we stuck. In order for you to change anything, you got to be like, yeah, I was wrong for that. I shouldn't have had the second baby by that nigga. I shouldn't have got with that woman. She won't shit when I met her. Why am I trying to expect her to be a wife to me now? Right? So people are just running from obedience. That's all it is. It's like, I know exactly what I need to do to make this situation better. But in order to do that, I got to admit all the ways I was wrong. And that's where most of our counterparts are stuck. They all stuck right there. And it's sad.
So, but see, I agree. But the thing that comes into contention for me is the women were saying that the things that we take issue with how they operate are just innate to them. But those things are problematic. Mm-hmm. Chaos is problematic. Never wanting to be, never settling or never satisfied is innate, but that's problematic. That's what Sherelle and I were discussing. That can't be your state of being, and then you expect for me to navigate that. That's unrealistic. That's unbecoming behavior that has to change before we can make any progression.
Absolutely.
So being chaotic, though, this is what I think you and I had this conversation here. Being chaotic is the nature, right? But the character of the person determines how that chaos manifests, right? So it's I want to move around, I want to do things. So I might say, if you have a woman with good character, the things that she's going to want to change will always better. They won't conflict with the vision for the family. They won't conflict with what's happening. There'll be things and changes that she'll want to make, but she'll be in order when she presents them. Now, if you have someone with bad character, her chaos is going to turn into a consistent challenge of what it is you said that needs to be done. It's going to turn into a rebellion where I'll go around and do things this way because I need to move. And whether I'm in order or not, I'm determined to move. So the chaos is the nature, right? The way that it manifests depends on the character of the individual.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think that's true. I don't know if I 100% agree with the sentiment that women are in a state of chaos.
So you got to. I mean, I think it just need. It is chaos, bro.
No, I think society's in a state of chaos, but a woman's natural disposition is to be chaotic.
Yes, but
How?
I said it in the chat a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use our romantic relationships. Use the women we love from birth, mothers, sisters, girl cousins, aunts.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of realize over the timeline that no matter what your dad did, no matter what your mom accomplished, like she could say, I want a new house, buy a new house, and that's her only complaint. Buy her that house, she gonna find new shit to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like we always known, like, oh damn, they're naturally this way, but that goes back to obedience that I was talking about, and the character that Love C was talking about. The women are naturally chaotic, bro, but the character of the person will submit. Like we always go to that word. A woman's character should be judged by how she's able to submit to leadership, law, and authority. Because they know, like, dog, I got a daughter. You got daughters. Look at the way your son responds to you. Look at the way your daughters respond. Completely different. They're naturally more neurotic, more emotionally erratic. Not emotional, but emotionally erratic. So that is a natural state of chaos, bro. And their obedience to allow us to control it and bring order to their chaos is how their character should be judged. Like, so when a woman becomes a wife and she knows she got smoke for her husband, but she knows she's going to be disobedient, out of order, and I'm not going to do that right now in front of the children. That's her being obedient to law and order to say, listen, I'm not going to let my character come out like that to show me as some ungrateful, uncooperative ass bitch. I'm going to submit in this moment.
No, I understand. I just when someone is created to be a helpmeet, and then their nature is chaotic, right? That does not coincide well, right? So I guess we would have to reconcile that. So if you're made to help, but yet your natural disposition is to be in a chaotic state, you guys would have to help me reconcile that.
Oh, it's perfect poetry, bro. So don't real quick, Love C.
Yeah.
Real quick, Love C. Don't use women at all because I think they're women. We can't understand it. We can only observe. But women can understand it. We can only observe. Use men. Our natural state is like savagery. But in order to live within a civilized environment with your neighbors,
hold on, Mike.
You got to.
What's up?
Hey,
That's
how
perfect
we
timing
doing?
right here. It's perfect timing.
This is my wheelhouse. Hey, everybody. How is everybody doing?
What's up?
I'm gonna be quiet. You got this.
Okay, so this is my wheelhouse talking about women's nature. It is chaotic.
Okay.
Our nature, just like male-based nature is order. Y'all constantly bring order to stuff. I talk about it all the time. That's y'all nature to do it. Whether it's perfect or imperfect, whether it's, the best that you could possibly do or not, you constantly trying to bring order to something. I watched, and I've said this on my show plenty of time, watched the videos of little boys playing. His game was his car broke down and he had to fix it. That was his little game, right, by himself. He thought of something that was out of order so he could bring order to it. Now, this is a toy car. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But that was how he was playing. What we have to understand is chaos is not the opposite of peace. It's the opposite of order.
Okay.
Yes, we are created to be helpmeets. He gave us a complementary thing for men. Just because we have chaos as part of our base nature does not automatically mean that we're looking to disrupt everything, be obedient, or be crazy. What you have to understand is that we are predominantly emotional. And people say that, but I don't think people really understand what that means. We're in a constant state of not emotional turmoil, but that's our minds constantly dealing with different emotions, sometimes all at the same time. That is a chaotic state.
Okay, so
Now, let me say this one moment, and then because I want to hear your question.
Okay.
Our submission, which is our task as a woman, is to allow our husbands to bring order to it. He doesn't get rid of it. We just submit under order.
Oh, I see the correlation has to matter, right? And so that order is needed to subdue or control that chaos, that chaotic state. Yeah. If a woman is by herself, will she remain in a chaotic state?
Yes, we are always in a chaotic state.
Oh, I see. So it's a yin and a yang thing. So without the yang, then the chaos is going to exist by itself and therefore take over.
It must have order.
I understand.
Keep the chaos, like I always say, okay, we say Mother Nature, right? And Father Time. The reason we attribute femininity to nature, there's nothing wrong with grass growing and trees growing. We want that stuff to grow. But if you have a garden, you just gonna let it grow, you're gonna bring order to it.
You gotta bring order to it.
Do you want it to stop growing?
No.
Do you want the flowers to not grow?
No.
Do you want the plants to not do what they do?
No.
If you cut the grass this week, are you expecting to cut it next week? You gonna be mad at it?
No.
Exactly, because that's the nature of the grass, that's the nature of the tree, that's the nature of the plant. You're not angry at it, you're just bringing order to it.
Okay.
So we and if you don't bring order to it, we're gonna grow, but we grow all over the place. The vines will grow over the face of the building, the plants will grow over the hedges will be out of control, and you'll be like, what is it being a disarray? It's not the opposite of peace, it's the opposite of order. So you come along and bring order to it so it can look nice. You still want it to do what it do. You want the flowers to bloom, you want the tree to grow the fruit, you still want it to do what it's in its nature to do. You just want it to do it in an orderly fashion so that you and everybody else can get benefit out of the chaos.
Okay. So, damn. So, okay. I think I understand it. I think my disconnect is I don't get it because I can't accept it from someone acting in a way that's unbecoming. Right?
But it's not necessarily that. That's why I said chaos is not the opposite of peace. I don't bring discontent and discord to my home. I'm still chaotic. My husband still has to bring order to me, but I submit. When he says this is what's going on, it's up to me to now check my emotional responses, how I'm gonna let stuff manifest. You can't just say stuff. There's self-control to the chaos. Just like if you see a car broke down, you ain't gonna fix all the cars that you saw broke down today, even though your nature is order.
Yeah, but this thing, right? So she's naturally chaotic. Do you think that chaotic nature left by itself is unbecoming, right? So all the things that we discussed, right? When women seem to be discontent, they're unsatisfied, they're never pleased. I deem operating like that an unbecoming way to operate. What do you think? Yeah. Even if it is natural, it's still undesirable.
That depends on how it's being presented, because women also have hypergamy, which gets let's just be honest. Female nature gets a bad rap. Period. Our nature is considered bad.
Okay.
It's considered negative. Everything about it is considered to be a bad thing. So let's just put that on the table now. Moving past that.
Crimson. Well, one thing, can you define it? The female nature. What is it? Like, if you had to use 5 words before you go, you know what I mean? I just want to baseline it.
We are naturally chaotic, like we just said.
Okay.
We're naturally run off of our emotional state.
Okay. Which is chaotic.
We naturally manipulate.
Okay.
Manipulation is a natural part.
Okay.
Of us.
Yeah, you don't have to give 5. That was an arbitrary number. But okay, I can get with those 3.
So all the things I just named, and this isn't the total encompassing of what women's nature is, right? Because I just named only 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue is those things are considered negative on the whole. Okay, generally speaking, we don't like chaotic things. I mean, like I said on my show a couple of weeks ago, you never see anybody say, "Oh, this is chaotic. That's so awesome. I love stuff that's chaotic." Nobody ever says that, right?
Yeah.
This is the spiritual task of women, though. Just because we have that nature, our reward is based on our control of it. When we don't exercise any control, this is where you get unruliness. This is where you get that combative. Oh no, I can't. When women can't bring themselves under order, or they don't want to, when men come around that they say they love, they men, they husbands, they this and that, bring the order, they fight the order. That's where you get, I don't like this female because she's doing, it's not that she's chaotic, it's that she won't. When you bring the order, she won't submit down to it. She won't be like, okay, well, fine. I'm good. I'm going to go with what you're doing because I know your order is beneficial to me.
Damn.
Yeah. Can I add something real quick?
No. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let it just marinate for a second. I still got to process. I know y'all smarter than me. Y'all process this already. I still got to process.
Cooking, man. She cooking.
Damn. Okay. Go ahead, Mike, and then CJ had his hand up for 30 minutes.
So I think you said something, Hamp, too. It's because you and I are both. I mean, every man on here, we constantly, we know women are smart. So I think that's why you say you can't deal with somebody with their unbecoming nature doing that when they know better. We all think that about women. But just like Crimson said, if you understand their nature, okay, we assume that they know that they're being chaotic. That's where we mess up. We assume that they understand that. Let me tell you, I just wrote down all the names of my counterparts that are directors. It's 11 directors in online education where I work. Only 2 of them are male, me being one. They started a meeting last week about student conduct in the online classroom because students are doing wild stuff, talking to the instructors like they're crazy. The women talked in a 1-hour meeting. They talked for 50 minutes complaining about all the shit that they heard, talking about all the problems. I had to stop them after listening and said, everybody just listed problem after problem after problem. And y'all all breathing out sighs of relief like we fixed the damn thing. They actually think talking about the problems is the solution. They were all like, I'm glad I had a chance to vent. I was sitting there upset because we only got 10 minutes left and we didn't fix a damn thing. You see what I'm saying? So they didn't know they were being chaotic. They didn't know that they were only talking about issues. And I felt like this when this happened. I was so like, oh my God, I had to interrupt somebody. I only want to talk. I know what the problem is. I only want to talk about the solution, as Crimson said, and bring order to this so I can move on to the next issue.
Yeah.
You should let me go first. Miss Cure, she was cooking. Feel me? I liked everything she said. I think she addressed my point while my hand was up with her last point. Like if we don't mind y'all being chaotic because we don't mind putting things in order. But if y'all tell us, hey, we just want to talk, we just want to vent, we don't want you to put it in order for us. Like if the garden is fighting against us trimming it, it would be. So I think your last point pretty much addressed it. Like how could we address people that are hard, that are not willing to accept the all right, that's it. I ain't doing that because my girl right here interrupted me. But you're right, you was cooking, Miss Cure.
Crimson. Yeah, go ahead.
So, hey, Crimson.
Hey, Miss C. Hey, Miss Sherelle.
As usual. But what I like is that when you talk about the nature of a thing, when you bring balance to it, that's when you see the best results, right? So the way that the man then comes in and orders the chaos, like with her analogy of the garden, if you have a plant like a tomato plant and you never go in and prune the plant, you won't see much fruit. But if you go in and you prune the branches that are broken, that are not needed, if you prune those away, the yield on your fruit increases, right? So pruning seems like a bad thing because you're cutting off parts of the plant, but you're cutting off things that suck energy and they take nutrients from it. So a man who doesn't prune, either because he doesn't know how, or he's afraid that it won't, the plant won't look as big or as full as it was, they run the risk of not being able to have the production of fruit they could have had they not feared what the plant would look like and done what was best for the plant, because the plant doesn't know. Then when the fruit is produced, you realize that for that short period of time, you took away to increase what it was going to bear.
Yeah. No, I like the analogy a lot. Now, here's where I find I need edification or clarification. I'm very weary of enabling that type of behavior or justifying it, right? Because I don't. So this is what happens when I'm coaching the kids, right? They ignore the parts that they don't like and they accept the parts that they do like, right? Or if I say, hey, you have to run this out at 100% or else it's not going to work. But their assumption is already that it's not going to work, and therefore they don't put 100% into it, right? And so if you tell somebody this is just your nature and just your behavior, are people in this earth and in this day and age more likely to change it if you essentially say it's okay to an extent because that's just naturally you? Like for me, as an example, I used to get very angry very quickly, right? And it seemed like it was my disposition just because I was always like that as a kid. But if I didn't check it and change it, what happens regardless of who was around me?
But those are changed behaviors, not changed natures. Your base nature is still your base nature. Your behavior is what can be changed. We cannot change the chaotic state. We can't. There's nothing we can do about that. So asking us, demanding us, or trying to make an environment where we not like that, you're just going to make yourself mad, because we're going to be what the Most High made us to be. We're going to be that, period. Now, behaviorally, this is the difference, again, between women who submit, which is why we use that word, and women who do not. And why a submissive woman pleases a man so much. She doesn't lose her nature. She doesn't stop being as chaotic as she ever was. She just admits and understands that while the chaos may not be bad, it's not always the best thing to give into all the time. You can't always just give into it just because it's your nature. You just do it willy-nilly. That comes with maturity. That comes with understanding. That comes with some spiritual base. You know what I'm saying? You have to have those things to temper it. Just because it's our nature doesn't mean that we're slaves to it. We just have to have some type of understanding about that. You know, I know I'm chaotic. So when my husband brings order to me, I don't always like that. I don't always like everything that he say. But regardless of whether I liked it or not, regardless of whether even I can understand the outcome or the foresight that he saw with it, my job is not to understand that. My job is to submit to the order. Let his foresight be the foresight. I don't have to worry about the foresight.
Okay. I agree. Because I believe that people don't change, right? They mask behavior or control their behavior. So I guess it directly coincides with that sentiment.
I love that garden analogy, because I always say, like, women are flowers, you know, some of us are Venus flytraps, you know, even roses have thorns. You have to watch how you handle them because they're fragile, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of things have defense mechanisms, some plants, so some of them will give off very negative connotations. But my thing is to exist, and I'm existing in the way that God created me to exist. And then, so I think that the difference is that men and women are not the same. And a lot of times women want men to be more like them. And why can't you just see how I see it? And then men want women to see things how they see it. Why can't you just be like me? And we look at our differences, and instead of accepting it and finding a way to blend it, or coincide with each other. We say you should just be more like me, or I should be more like you, but it just doesn't work that way. So within him, what did God tell Eve? Like your desires will always be opposite of your husband, and you'll still have to be in submission to him, right?
What do you mean?
So
in the verse, or what do you mean? Yeah. It says your desire will be towards your husband.
Yeah.
Well, you said opposite.
We'll have to submit to him. So like we don't necessarily ever want to do what y'all want to do, or think the way y'all want to think, or be the way y'all want to be, or act the way y'all want to act. Like we have those difference of things, but because you're the order, you're the structure, you bring it, and you see things in a way that we don't see it. It's more trustworthy for us to say, okay, I'm gonna trust my husband, I'm gonna trust my dad, I'm gonna trust this leader, this male leader, because he sees the world in a way that I don't see the world.
All right, let me challenge the nature one more time, because that's after the fall, right? And so now the blessing or the curse is your desire will be towards your husband, right? So, and he will rule over you. So now she's fighting against what? The commandments of the Most High? You see what I'm saying? You see why I'm getting hung up there? Because if now it's saying
no,
this
it's
is
not
what it
toward. It says your desire will be contrary to your husband.
Huh?
The thing is, your desire shall be contrary to your husband. It's not towards your husband. It's contrary.
The word is toward, but it means to a craving to have.
Yeah, it's towards. That's what I'm saying. So now that happens, how is the innate nature of a woman to be a chaotic? You see why I'm having a hang up just because of what I'm looking at specifically. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm saying that sorry, go ahead.
I said we're having a little bit of a hang up because we still think chaos is inherently a bad thing.
I would say so, Crimson, just because of how I see chaos manifesting in the earth overwhelmingly. Now, it could be to your point because men and women aren't together, which is why that chaos is looking bad to me. But since we're so separate, I'm seeing it the way in which it's manifesting, if that makes sense.
So, I'm gonna probably tell you.
Hold on, Trigger Mike. Your name ain't Crimson. Let me change his name to Crimson Mike because he just.
My bad. I thought that was a general question. You don't got to do that.
No, I got you. Don't worry about it. What you think, Crimson? What you think about that? You see what I'm saying?
I have generally, I have a different mindset on Adam and Hawa to begin with. So I don't think you and I are even completely 100% on that part.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Adam was always going to be in charge of Hawa, whether she ate the fruit or not. He was. That was the design. That was the design. When we think about the creation of Adam and Hawa, she was extracted from him. What was extracted? What was extracted out of him? Everything that we're made of. That was inside of Adam when he was created. All of it. He wouldn't have been able to get nothing done if he had to deal with the internal battles that women do all day. He wouldn't get nothing done. The world would never have been built. Nothing. Okay. Y'all would have been crazy if y'all had to deal with everything. He extracted those things, those attributes, not to be adversarial to Adam. That was not the point. He didn't make. He made a help meet. He made exactly what he said he made. He made a help meet. He did not make an enemy.
Yeah. No, 100%. But so, all right. Let me take this walk with you, right? So the extraction was all things good out of Adam, or all things he didn't need that needed to be harnessed differently.
That needed to be harnessed differently.
Okay.
Can you explain the difference of what chaos brings to order? The benefits of chaos that it brings to order.
Chaos is the ingredient for order. That's how I think about it. Chaos is the ingredients for order. Okay. When you build a house, is it a house? What is it made out of? What you got to do? You got to get the materials. They're not in order. bricks and water and concrete and steel and wood and all of that stuff is just whatever it is. You're the one, the contractors, the architects. Those men have to say, this is how the wood should be shaped. This is how the concrete should be poured. This is how the brick should be laid. This is how the floor should be laid. He brought all of those things that were not in order. They wasn't bad. He needed them. You can't build a house without them. What you gonna do? Only Allah can create without no raw material. People can't do that. So raw material, we're the raw material. That's all. That's what we are. We're the raw material. If you bake a cake, anything that you put order to was in chaos first. If you bake a cake, there was flour, sugar, eggs, butter. All of that stuff was separated. You had to say, okay, this much butter, this much flour, these many eggs, mix it this long, bake it that long to bake a cake. It's delicious. We make cakes.
So Crimson, I have this outlook regarding women. Let me see if this aligns. I think that when you get the right women to be in order, I could argue a woman is like the greatest asset. Because when you look at Proverbs 31 as an example, that woman was doing everything. You know what I mean?
Said that. He actually told me, and he told men that. But that's our task as women, to be that, to be that, so that we can benefit. It's not there to detract. It can detract.
Yeah.
But it's not meant to. It was not created for that purpose. We're out of order. That's a reason why we say it like that. We are out of order when we are not doing what we were meant to do. Anything that you use not for the manufacturer's purpose is broken.
It's fucked. Yeah. Okay.
This is dope.
Yeah, man.
So men use women. Men use our energy. That's why y'all like it so much. It is chaotic, but it's not meant to be harmful to you or to family or to children or anything like that. And if the potential comes up where it could be, that's where your order comes from. That's where you come from to check it down. No, baby. I'm sure every good wife and good husband, her good husband had to check her at some point. He may not have had to have an argument with her. He may not have had to go all out, but he might have had to have that sit down. I'm pretty sure that he did. I'm pretty sure you and your household have had to have a talk with your wife. And I'm sure she's a good woman. And say, baby, no, we can't do it like that. You can't do that. Okay? And this is why. And maybe you explain why, maybe you didn't. But if she submitted to you, she understood, okay, I was out of pocket. I was out of order. I'm not gonna do that no more.
Shit like that.
Yeah, man.
I like it conceptually. What, Mike? Go ahead, Crimson Mike.
No,
Crimson Mike. Hey, you ain't said nothing. I like that nickname. That shit low key fire. Right? If I'm not lying.
I'm actually gonna get out of here, but I heard the chaos talk. And I couldn't say everything I was gonna say in a chat room. It's just
well, Chris. Before you get out of here, what do you?
Doggy, I done did it to myself, y'all. See that's chaos at work. But go ahead.
Just in terms of the misery. Did you hear that part? I think you got it.
I was a little bit confused about that, and it's because I was doing something else. Excuse me, I didn't listen to the whole thing, so maybe I missed the context of the conversation, but I was a little confused because I don't know why it was being brought as a gender thing. Misery is an individual thing in my book. So I didn't understand the context of the conversation. That's why I didn't offer nothing for it.
I guess I'll give you a very, very brief synopsis. Essentially, we were in our Discord and CJ was saying the majority of women are just miserable, right? How they conduct themselves in the earth, how they act, etc. And so then we were comparing the two genders. So suicide rates were brought up, how men die earlier, etc., etc. We're trying to see, because we agree it is an individual thing, misery, right? You control that largely, but out of which gender, who seems to exude a level of misery more at a higher degree? That's what we're discussing.
Here's what I will add to that. While I still don't think misery is a gender-based thing, I think that maybe perhaps, and it's just my opinion, maybe perhaps the reason why we're seeing more women not operating properly or miserable, since that's the word we're using for the conversation, is because they are not doing what the Most High created them to do. Most women in the society are in rebellion to the most. They think they're in rebellion to men. They're actually in rebellion to the Most High. So when you are not fulfilling your purpose, then you cannot be content. Happy, I don't use happy. We don't use happy. Happy is fleeting. Content, peace. Peace and contentment is not happiness.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not looking for people to be happy. I'm not always happy. I'm content though. I'm at peace though. But most of the women, especially if we want to talk about just the general society of women in America, we are not operating properly. We're letting too many men have us. We are not grounded spiritually, many of us, in any religion or spiritual system, whether that be Christianity, Islam, Hebrew Israelite, whatever, it don't even matter. So many of us are we're doing everything except fulfilling our purposes. And when you can fulfill your purpose, that's where contentment and peace come from. When you consistently don't do it for generations, this is where you get misery. And I'll say misery because again, that's the word that we use.
Sake of the convo. Yeah, damn. See, I got 10 more questions, but I'm gonna let you get out of here. Appreciate it. I love you. I appreciate you hitting the link.
Go back around. I may jump back up, but I need to jump up. But thank you for having me. I'm always
ma'am. My pleasure. I appreciate your support. 100%. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Later.
Yo. Later.
Shit like that.
Love C asked probably the most impactful question I've ever heard. Like on this topic, you said, "What does chaos bring to men?" That we never talk about that, right? Because basically, submission, obedience is what we've been talking about, and we never talked about trust. So, chaos brings a test to men. Are you going to be obedient to the woman? Or are you going to be obedient to the rule of law? I'm using the rule of law to substitute for God because everybody doesn't believe in God. So a chaotic woman is a test for all men. Crimson Cure said, "I'm sure we've all done this in our marriages. One of the realest things I've ever said to my wife is, you don't have to agree for it to be what's best." When you have children and y'all disagree a little bit, nine out of 10 times we don't disagree on anything. We're equally yoked. But that one time we disagree and I got to puff my chest out, I said, you don't have to agree for it to be what's best. I'm not submitting to you. And I had to trust she was going to be okay with that. I didn't submit to her. These pussy ass niggas out here are submitting to their woman because they worship pussy. That's what chaos brings. Chaos is a test. Are you going to submit to the rule of law and run your household the way it's supposed to be ran, or are you just going to do what the woman wants because you don't want to give up access to that box? That is the test of man, and that's what chaos brings to men.
Damn. I had a question. I forgot this shit though. I can't remember it, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let me see. Can I read this one? Li with the 20 ball. You want to read this, bro?
If I read it, I'm gonna make Baller X. Read it.
Sherelle can't control herself like most men. She insult. Fix that shit. Oh, Nikasu been a member for 4 months. And with the 2000s, I've been saying all year separation is needed. I don't think that's what. Oh, I think we're talking. I think what Fo was saying. Young Money, salute. What's poppin'? Young Money, welcome to the family. I see you be cooking in the Discord and all that. You heard? Appreciate you.
Like that.
Allow with the 10 out says CJ is cooking again. See, bro, talking to people who knows nothing about a relationship and longevity. Look at her. She up there trying to give him advice on how to divide and run. She's miserable. You gonna respond to this? Nav, what's poppin'? I miss you, my G. I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays. Nav with the 50 ball. He said, what up, Dohan? What's poppin'? I think we tend to forget that man is born with direct instructions from the Most High. However, women's instructions have been clouded by deception.
Wow.
Hence, why they constantly seek drama, chaos, and confusion. Jeez Louise. Nav, good to see you, my G. Salute for the 50 ball.
And when I'm feeling broke, E and J by my side, Henny like $40. This shit like
Aaron with the $5 says, women chaos. I want to be happy, but if I'm not, I will ruin the happiness of everyone who is happy in the house, not named me, and then expect fixing. HQ with the $5 says, real time, we see goody shit from supposed intelligent people. Make it make sense. Miss Bell, salute. Thank you. B Sammy with the $2 says, shout out to Crimson Cure. Salute to you, man. What up, B Sammy? Aaron with the $2 says, Crimson came with her own pots and pans and seasoning. As Abe with the $2 says, Mike, I am sure those women are not African American women. That's the ones at his job. Li with the $5 says, she's pretty. CJ, I see why you fight to stay with her. Salute to y'all respectfully. As Abe with the $5 says, Black women are solution focused because there is no time to be otherwise. Most Black women do not act like damsels in distress. On jobs, Black women hate the whining and small talk. Omar was popping. He said, pay attention. Damn. Salute. Tezzy with the $5 says, stop the lies. Women are not chaotic. If that is the case, the word discipline should not exist. As Abe with the $2 says, the potter shapes the clay, not the buyer. As Abe with the $2 says, why can't women check themselves? This is kind of what I was kind of getting into a little bit. Chaotic Ramella, what up, Ramella with the $10 says, love, see the Crimson Cure making it a great bill. Tezzy with the $5 says, now what's going to happen is Crimson is using her popularity to agree with this nonsense. Oh, Crimson said it, so it must be true. Dumb men can use this. Exhibit A with this house. Salute, love, see. Hit the likes, get the likes up, man. We got 540 people in the building and we have 252 likes. That shit is so odd to me, man. Real shit though. Man. Sherelle, did you agree with everything?
What Crimson was saying? Yeah. I be saying a lot of it. I think she's very more polished at saying it.
Yeah, especially you said very more is crazy. So
yeah, very more polished. And I also think it's all about the arena that you're in sometimes. How you can come on.
What you mean?
Because it's like when somebody's belief system is different than yours, you conceptualize it in a different way depending on what you've been indoctrinated with within your belief system. So sometimes you may be coming from a narrative of your way of life and your belief system, and it's trumped by whoever the majority of belief system is, you know? So talking as a person who is outside the Abrahamic belief system will always come different because people who are in Abrahamic belief systems are so wrapped up in their belief systems that they refuse to see anything outside of it. And they'll use their logic based off their belief system. And if your belief system is outside of that, then people just will not see it your way.
No,
So,
I
the
understand
same,
that.
I don't think people are just good, bad, wrong, and different. I think people are different, and we judge people. We judge what we don't understand.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I'm still reconciling women naturally being chaotic, but I understand what's being said. Like I could apply it if I wanted to. I could apply it right now. You know what I'm saying?
Like, do you know Bobby Hemmett?
No.
Because it was something like he was kind of saying how like when he explained us, it's like chaos beings, and it's not that chaos beings are God, but it's the stuff that God is made of, right? So the ingredients or the core of something, then you see when we see finished product and we look at the finished product, and that's kind of what we do, but we don't necessarily acknowledge the things that the finished product is actually made of. And that's what women are. You know what I'm saying? So men rule earth, women are earth. So like within other like spiritual religions, they say peace to the gods in the earth, right? Men, y'all are the gods. Women, the earth. So when they say peace to the gods in the earth, they understand that y'all are God, but we are earth. So within everything that you see in the world, you have to understand that everything is still made up of earth. But when you see things, you don't see earth. You don't see her. You just see her as this thing that you need to manipulate and that you need to control and bring structure and order. But you negate the fact that all of it is still her. So you diminish her. But but it's a different belief system. So I don't expect people to get it.
But Sherelle, can you still appreciate the beauty? What you say? What you mean?
What you mean?
You just heard me ask, can I go real quick? Then you want to hop in?
Go ahead, cuz. Go ahead, my boy.
I was gonna say, I think I agree with Miss Cure, but Sherelle kind of muddied it a little bit, feel me, and kind of confused it to me, which I don't know why. I don't think she's saying the same thing Crimson Cure was saying, feel me.
I'm not saying the same thing she was saying.
And it's kind of hard to understand Sherelle. I'm about to walk in the house on my Wi-Fi.
He literally interrupted Fo just to do that.
Yeah, go ahead,
He's
Fo.
spitting.
Go ahead, Fo.
Nah, I was just gonna say, is it possible to appreciate the beauties of the earth, like the flowers, the trees, the sunshine, all the good things of earth, but still see the the pollution of it. You know what I'm saying? What it has become. You know what I mean? And something like that.
But Earth didn't cause pollution. We did. Man did. Man polluted the earth. Because they took from her natural resources to create something that they felt, because they felt like something was wrong with the initial thing. So to make things better in their form, they would kill her to make things better.
See, that doesn't, so that is different than what was being said, though.
But I'm saying something different than Crimson.
Now, is this you? So if you're saying something different, therefore, are you aligned with what she said?
I did. I said when you're speaking from a different spiritual religion outside of Abrahamic, she's Muslim. I'm not talking about what she's saying. She's in Abrahamic religion. I'm telling you from somebody from outside of Abrahamic religion, the concept of how we get that understanding. So she kind of spoke to that. She just spoke it in the way that y'all understand it from an Abrahamic perspective.
Okay. But this doesn't sound the same. So what she was saying in terms of women are chaotic is men settle them down and give them order and structure. But it sounds like what you're saying now is men pollute the earth with women being the earth, and use women for their own
No,
devices.
he brought up pollution. I didn't bring up pollution.
He did.
Fo brought up pollution.
Who's he?
Okay.
He said we can see the beauty of Earth, and then we can see pollution, but pollution wasn't always here. Humans created pollution.
Okay. So what do men do with the earth?
Okay, so let's say if you ran into a forest, right?
Yeah.
That would be chaos. It's a forest. They got animals. They got all of this stuff. Men will take a forest and build a whole civilization.
Okay.
They'll take the natural infrastructure. They'll take the wood, the iron, everything, and build a whole city. When they got to the city, it was chaos. It was just woods. New Orleans is a swamp, right? The majority of everything that you see in New Orleans used to be wetland, swamp, trees. Men came, took earth, manipulated it, and changed it into something different. And that is your purpose, right? And you created a beautiful city. The chaos that was there first is
okay.
That's the example of it. You see what I'm saying?
I see. I understand the difference. Okay. My bad.
But it still has, sometimes it can have negative things because we just say it's deforestation. When you don't have a balance of what you're trying to take away. So you don't want to take away from the fact of the flowers and the gardens and everything that it is. We need that to grow wild. But your job, your purpose is to come and manipulate that and make something greater from that. So you make something greater from what women already are. You don't try to manipulate them and change them from being exactly what they are already.
Okay. So do you agree, even under the different spiritual guide, that women should submit to men in order to reach their maximum state or proper place?
Outside is not a submission to men, it's a submission to one. So it's not a submission to masculine energy. We don't believe that masculine energy should swallow feminine energy whole, but you submit to the oneness of it to understand that both energies are needed within the yin and the yang. It's not for yin to swallow yang. It's not for yang to swallow yin. It is for them to exist, and that is how we actually get the internal life. One cannot devour the other, but one possesses qualities that the other doesn't. We're opposite, right?
Yeah, but what the premise was that the chaos is here. Men bring order to the chaos and therefore control it, but give autonomy to the chaos until it gets too much, and then they'll settle it back down. So by proxy, the chaotic substance has to submit there. Do you think that has to be the case?
Yeah, because feminine energy is raw, and the masculine energy is that brick wall, so that you don't go overboard, that you don't go out, because that is needed, right? Now, let's say there was no raw, then it would just be nothing.
No, I understand. What I'm saying is,
and let's say there was no order, then it would just be too much all the time.
I'm asking you a specific question though. Does that chaos has to submit to that? Would you say rock or brick wall?
It doesn't necessarily submit to it to where it stops.
No, I'm not. There's autonomy in submission, right? Women aren't robots, but they're under the guise and under the it's like business autonomy, right? So I create a structure. People operate within that structure, and they have the ability to do different things, that based on what autonomy they have, right? So like, for instance, my guys don't have to use straps to bring something up the steps heavy, right? They can use their hands, they can pad slide it, but there's things I don't allow. Like, you can't bring it up one step and drop it. Like, you're gonna carry it, you got to carry it. So I don't allow that, but they have different things they can do within autonomy, which I create. So in this submission, the woman's still an autonomous being, right? She still thinks, feels. She's under the guise of her husband.
I understand what you're saying. So she's submitting unto him, but it isn't about more of. Sometimes I think when you say submission, it comes off as worship, right?
Say that last part again.
Worship, like woman worship man. So I'm less of me for the benefit of him, right? So within the submission of man, it's really a submission of one. So that we understand that this submission, this order, this structure is actually benefiting everything as a whole.
Yeah, everybody benefits from the submission. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot.
It's a beautiful thing when it happens. You know, feminine energy, like it's like masculine energy gives it that balance. You know what I'm saying? But it's not supposed to beat it. You don't kill the flower. You don't smother the flower. You know what I'm saying? You allow that thing to grow while keeping it maintained to grow, but you don't step on it.
I agree.
Women don't want to be stepped on.
Okay. So let me just know, right? It has to be the proper place, right? Men have to be in order to bring order, right? We can agree there. A man that's in order, should women submit to him?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because it's this. Let's say women are trees, right? When you want to build something, you chop a tree down. The tree only understands, nigga, you're chopping me down. You understand what I'm saying? It does not understand anything. It doesn't understand, I'm trying to build a log house. I'm trying to build this. Within that, the tree only understands, I'm getting chopped down. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to like grow.
Hey, bro, we ain't even need no more analogies.
Okay.
We could have let that shit.
I'm like, if you understood what she said, you are smarter than me, bro. If you understood that, because we right, women are the queens or the kings of confusion, whatever you want to say. Because that was the most confusing shit Sherelle just said.
Men who don't serve God deserve godless.
You are the fucking man if you understood that shit.
Bro, I'm just listening. I know I read other ideologies too. Also up north, right? We have this thing, right? Like niggas just come and be like, yo, what's today's mathematics, right? And that's just regular speak though. Mm-hmm. Like we be like top of the morning, what's today's mathematics? Like just regular, not understanding that that's a spiritual ideology just for sake of verbiage, right? So we have like 5%ers and things of that nature. But we all just be talking to each other and we learn to say that, like, just, you know what I'm saying? So it's like lingo, it's slang, but it's actually a spiritual ideology. So when she's alluding to things, I have a level of understanding, feel me?
The 5%ers are the ones who peace to the gods and the earth.
Peace to the gods and earth, yeah. So that's how, when she said that, CJ, I'm already privy to that information, you know? But they're not worshiping women. They saying, yeah, we take the earth and we do what we will with it while taking care of it, right? So like building a city, you know, cultivating the forest, et cetera, et cetera. Go ahead. See, Cheek, what's popping?
What you just said, that was a point that I think is important to talk about when you talk about submission. You said if a man is in order and he has everything together, should she submit to him? I think women have to be mindful that submission is voluntary. And then the comment you just said is the earth submits to, I don't know the God and the earth thing you guys are talking about, but you said because they've taken responsibility to shape and form and care for the earth, right? Women often get themselves in situations where they're hurt or they're misused or abused because they submit to a man who hasn't shown and committed to caring for them and being responsible for them. So they often submit in the hopes that he'll then agree to care and be responsible for you, when what should actually happen is he should make his intention to care and be responsible for you known. And when he begins to do that, the trust in his protection and provision for you is what allows you to voluntarily submit. So you just can't be submitting to any and everything. You'll find yourself hurt and damaged.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yep, that's why before I asked to see, I made sure to qualify it. Because I ain't want her to get no wiggle room.
Well, no, and I'm not saying you said that he was in order. I think my point is more so that that he's responsible for you. So even if another man is in order, my submission isn't to him because his plan isn't the one that has covering over me. So you might be a good guy, you might have wonderful ideas and things of that nature, but your plan doesn't pertain to me. It pertains to who's in charge of me, who's committed to protect me, who's permitted to direct me. That's who I submit to, not every person that seems to have a good plan. Because
So
a lot
wait,
of
what is your
saying like, oh, you
well,
should.
I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm trying to figure out what. Wait, what's your? So you saying submit to the right man?
No, to your man.
Okay, so right couldn't go there. How was he yours?
Because you couldn't. There are plenty of men. There are plenty of men in the world, right? That
Do
have
men belong to women?
What?
Do men belong to women?
I don't know.
It's a broadcast. It's a broadcast. See?
I don't know. You asking me something different than what I was saying. What I was saying is,
well, you said your man, right? But I think right makes more sense.
No,
because your possessive pronoun.
Okay, so you can say right. What I'm saying is that not every man that has a plan, that has a vision, just because he's a good man doesn't mean that that's the man that you should submit to. When you first asked the question, you said, so if he is, I can't remember the word that you used. You was like, so you should submit to him, right?
Well, I said a man that's in order.
A man that's in order, you should submit to him, right? I'm not disagreeing with that point. I was just adding to it that even if it's a good man, if he hasn't made his intention to provide and protect for you known, then that doesn't mean that you submit to him just because he's a good man. He could be a good man, but he could have no intention on being responsible for you.
Okay.
And so then you'll find yourself in a place where you've submitted to a man who doesn't want to be responsible for you. He doesn't have any intention for you.
Okay. I guess I made an unfair assumption that if she's dealing with him, she would have vetted that stuff out already. That's what I'm assuming.
I made an unfair assumption that you were speaking that you weren't speaking directly to relationship.
Yeah, that's what they were in cahoots. They were in cahoots already.
Gotcha.
Let me get the general and peace of mind in. What's up?
Hey. Hey guys, hope everyone is well.
What's goody? You from Detroit?
Of course.
Of course, everybody from Detroit. We gotta assume everybody from Detroit.
Camp, I'm gonna go ahead and drop down. Thanks for having me up. See you guys later on.
All right, see, love you. Be safe.
Have a good one.
Go ahead.
He can go first. He was here.
Cheek, what's popping?
Cheeky salute.
What's good, y'all? How's everybody feeling?
What's goody?
Good.
I don't know. I think the analogy thing, you being weary of it, I'm weary of it too, for a multitude of reasons. Like, because whenever we do the analogy thing, the first thing that happens, especially when men use it, they go to animals. They go, we're like lions. You would name any animal that you could think of that doesn't have multiple or multitude of, and you know what women say, we're not animals, we're human beings, we're more intelligent. But then to go from that to a plant is like, what their brain cell, what is their it's not mitochondria. What's their nucleus? They don't even have brain. Like, so it's for me, it's one of those things where, like, if we're going to go with analogies, I get weary of them because they tend to be very dominant to somebody's position and not allow for intellect to come in, right? And then a lot of the things that you guys are saying, especially when it comes to like faith and beliefs in deities and things like that, most people, especially in America today, are the most unreligious. The most people today probably would align more so with Sherelle with spirituality, right? And air quotes around that because I don't know what that means to everybody. So it's not that I'm trying to discredit it. It's more so I just can't associate spirituality to mean one thing. So when it comes to like, Crimson Cure and her belief and how she sees women and your beliefs and how you see women, they're very patriarchal from a spiritual standpoint, and most women today not going for it. So how do you deal with the modern mindset towards women, autonomy, power, their ability to make money, get money? Like at that point, I don't want to hear anything about chaos because you're emulating or you're telling me I can do everything you can do. In fact, I can do everything you can do and better. So it's like this is the issue that I'll run into. And again, it's not necessarily attacking Crimson Cure's point, but more so saying I would agree with it if that's how majority of society thought, and if that wasn't very specific to a patriarchal religion, or because I'm with you. If it was, if I could have stayed a Christian and had more women be Christian minded, I'd be okay. That is not the case. They're not going with that. They don't care about none of that. No one's trying to hear that. Men not trying to hear that. Women not trying to hear that. So how do we square that circle whole? How do we deal with that? Chaos is what women are, but it's not necessarily good or bad. It just is, but not also have an excuse or make any concessions to that chaos because they're also saying we're capable. So how do you deal with chaos and capability of a woman?
So that part, right? Because you're, and I'm going to use this term, pardon me if it's too far, but most people are secular.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's most people are secular.
I wouldn't even give them spiritual, to be honest, right? I think most people are
agree.
secular. And so, like you said, when Crimson and I are talking, our baseline is very, very similar, right? So it's easy for us to talk through it based on the examples and analogies she was using. But when you look, right, to what's your point, Cheeky, I'm looking at if they're chaotic, that's unacceptable behavior because of how it manifests. And because if women can do everything men can do, then that's a conversation that we need to have outside of the religious basis. Right? Is essentially kind of when I'm listening to Cheeky talking. Because people don't have the same prescriptions.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, like, men are a certain way naturally as well, but there's still an expectation for men to curtail or manage their natural urges or natural desire in order to be considered socially acceptable. Like, most people would agree, right? There's a reason why polyamory or poly anything is still taboo, because most people are used to monogamy. But whenever men try to bring up the point, well, look at lions, everybody go, well, we're not lying. So again, if men are expected to manage and maintain a certain natural whatever, then I think it's only fair for women to do the same as well. Men are naturally aggressive. That's natural due to testosterone. That's biology. There's certain things, but like she was saying, there's a difference between natural and behavior. The issue is we're not seeing a change in either, because the expectation is for man to be able to manage it itself because you're a man and that's what men are meant for. And it's like, no, we're running into the problem because now we're being taught you don't need to manage a woman, she can manage herself. Okay, well, now my expectations have changed, and I can't change the fact this is how it is. So while your spirituality or your faith may say one thing, the world and everyone around me and the people I'm dealing with on a regular basis, they're saying another, and it makes it very complicated.
And so, Cheek, when you're saying that, if you remember, I don't know if you were here, I think it sounds like you were here, but remember my opening is it's an enabling poor behavior to say that someone else has to curtail it for you, right? And I use myself as an example. When I used to get angry quickly, right? I'm thinking I have to deal with that, so that's what you kind of are hitting on essentially. So that's it's interesting to mine out. It really is. Let's see what Peace got. Peace, what's popping? Hold on, Peace. Let me.
Let a nigga try me.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys for letting me join in. I just wanted to say, we always talk about how do we get back to the basics, and you'll probably hear me say this over and over again, is that we have forgotten how to be normal people.
My fault, Pete. I can't. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself.
It's okay.
Go ahead. My fault.
No, guys, I was just saying, I think we can just like getting back to, some normalcy. It's okay to be a regular person. And, I talk to a lot of people. I'm sure you all talk to a lot of people, but we do it in different ways. And everybody has been like so hard on themselves. So many different standards, expectations, all these different things. But I also wanted to mention, you guys were saying something earlier about submission, but there's a difference between submission and deference. You can be submissive. It doesn't only apply to, your romantic relationship. It also applies to your elders, other people. Like when someone older than you if you're sitting down, you get up and allow them to have a seat, or even maybe fixing a plate if somebody comes over to visit you, just being a good host. And you want bellies full when they leave your home. And so I just wanted to mention that if we can just get back to just basic thought processes and not everything being so Hollywood or so extreme within our mindsets, then maybe we can normalize and simplify some things.
Yeah. Hey, Peace, I like that. I remember I was having a conversation a few months ago, and I was talking about how like I walked these two they're a little bit older, these ladies, to the car. And it was pretty late night. I talked about how I carry water at like Costco, things of that nature. And the brother was kind of telling me it's not safe to do that anymore, But that stuff that was normal, holding the door, giving up a seat, whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people do it more than we give it credit for, But just generally speaking, I always thought that stuff should be normal. But now, like you said, it's not. You don't see it as much anymore.
But it's and it's something that's definitely needed. We have to remember to pull up. Our brothers, our sisters, look out for our neighbors. And I'm not just preaching or telling anybody else what to do. We can always have our own thing, but it does matter. Even if you just cut the grass or go take somebody's, whatever. I don't have to get into that whole thing, but it does make a difference when you live within your own community and you do the work.
Yeah. Now, when a man does it, is it deference or is it like chivalry, or so what word do we associate with the behavior so we make sure that when we're doing it, we know what it's called?
I don't think there's a word. I just think it's being a decent person.
Okay.
You don't have to be man or woman to do either one.
So I guess here's what I'm thinking. Would it be more effective if we tie a word to it, even though it may be a reach? So like an example, if I go to Sherelle's house, right, and she make my plate, what do you call it? Is submission too much?
No, that would probably be considered submission. Just like answering your question earlier, a man taking out the trash would probably be considered chivalry if we were going to attach words to it.
You see what I'm saying? Because I'm just thinking the word association makes it more palatable. Be like, hey, this is submission, that's chivalry, that's shit. I'm just thinking like, how do people learn?
Why would so that's where I'm confused. I think submission is tied into the level of authority. If somebody makes me a plate and I'm at their home, I would just consider that hospitable. But if I'm in the role of a man, their man or their husband, it changes because the role itself requires some level of authority, just by the word submission. Submission, I don't think is just something that should just be used willy-nilly. I think it's something that should be used as an official term for official positions. Like, if you got a side chick and she bring you food, I'm not gonna be like, oh, she's submissive to you. She's just being nice. But if that's your girlfriend or your wife, I'm like, okay, sure, maybe that'll count. I don't know.
Does duty association at all with submission or no?
Yes, it is. Because oh, sorry, you go ahead.
I think submission in and of itself is optional, which is why it's so important. She has to choose to do it. And most women don't, which is why when you see it, it's like, what the is that? it's the reason why submission is the way it is, and the reason why it's such a big deal is because somebody is willingly putting aside their own particular selfish desire or whatever the case may be. That's a choice. You don't have a duty to do that, because there's plenty of wives who are married, like Adam 22's wife. Is she being submissive because she let some nigga? Come on, man. Like it's again, that just because you're in the position of wife doesn't mean that you're by duty supposed to be submissive. But if you are, it's because you made that choice, which is why you get acknowledged and why you get chose to be a wife. You're making an active choice to do that, and most women don't, which is why, like I said, it's a rare gem to find it. And when you do, you treat it right, hopefully. And if you don't, that's on you. That's the other part of the conversation too.
So you said something, and I think in order to be submissive or whatever it is as a person, you also have to have humility, and that goes a long way. The ability to service others, think of others, beyond yourself. And so submission is not just about like power and control, because if you're not a powerless person, then you don't feel powerless, or out of control doing things for other people, but especially things that are just okay. I don't even understand, like, sometimes where these conversations come from, because it's like, how hard is it to just think beyond yourself? It should feel good to do something for, we submit to our children, we submit to our employers. If you work at a school, you're submitting to the parents, whatever it may be, to get the job done and keep the system rolling in whatever term it is that you have to use to get by, then fine.
I think our kids.
Sorry, this one of my submissives. I'm just playing.
I don't think we submit to our kids. I think our kids submit to us. We tell them what to do and they do it. So I think Cheeky made a good point. I like Cheeky, listening to Cheeky. Like, his mind is one mind that I rank high on my list, And so he made good points. So submission shouldn't just be labeled on everything. Oh, we submit to our kids by buying them food. Like, no, that's not submission. That's just being a good parent. And when we tell our kids to go, hey, it's time to go to bed, and they say, okay, that's them submitting to us because we have the power. It is a power thing. Like, if I get someone to submit in the wrestling match, I held the power. So I think submission.
Our kids was just one example. I just threw that in there because you do have to still be able to meet them at their level in some way. So submission may be the wrong word, but maybe relate to. But it does require a level of humility.
I don't think. No, the person submitting, yes, require a level of humility, and that's a power thing, because the person who has the power get them to realize that they have less power, so that's why they're submitting, or they could do it by it's optional. Like,
I don't expect parents and kids to be in a power struggle. Like, the adults are the adults. So, but go ahead.
No, it happens all the time.
Yeah, it does.
Let me add. Was somebody about to say something? No.
I think children don't submit to their parents. I think children fear consequences.
Yes. Wait,
and
once they do or they don't.
Once they adjust to the consequences, it's a wrap.
They might not submit anymore, but before they adjust, they are submitting.
Yeah, so either they adjust or they give you different outcomes, because there's also consequence and reward. So either you give them something or take something away from them. Everything doesn't necessarily